Chapter 2119. No sage showed up? Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. It was rumored that the 40 Bandit Alliance had the support of a saint, which was why they were so unbridled and tyrannical. No other forces dared to provoke them. However, after causing such a huge commotion on the pirate planet, there were still no signs of a sage appearing. He could not even sense the aura of any saint nearby. Could it be that it was just a lie to say that the 40 Bandits Alliance had the backing of a saint? No, that's not right. Xiaoping did not believe such a thing. It was impossible for the 40 Bandit Alliance to be able to run amok for such a long time without the support of a sage. Perhaps the other party was delayed by something and did not appear. Most importantly, the Mother Earth Stone did not appear on the pirate planet. According to the Compass of Wishes, it should be hidden in the dimensional space of a distant planet, hidden in the depths of the void. Perhaps the sage behind the 40 Bandits Alliance was hiding in that place, still refining the Mother Earth Stone. Interesting. I'd like to see the background of the so-called sage behind the 40 Pirate Alliance. Xiaoping's figure flashed, ignoring the small corners on the pirate planet. He shuttled through space and quickly arrived at the place where the Mother Earth Stone was. At this moment, One Piece Star Territory, a dimensional space hidden in the depths of the void. This space seems to be independent of this world, hidden in the depths of the dimensional space. Without enough means, it can't be found at all. It was like a small plain world. However, the area was not very large. It was only about 10 million square kilometers. There was a huge altar built in the middle of this plain world, and it was surrounded by dense restrictive arrays. A unique ore had appeared in the depths of the core, and it was obviously the Mother Earth Stone. This stone was only the size of a fist, and it gave off dense energy. It was like the core of the world, and it was the energy source for the entire restrictive formation. It seemed to be filled with the aura of primal chaos. 5 figures appeared in the vicinity of the altar. They exuded an aura that could distort space itself, indicating that they had all reached the sempiternal realm. It seems that there is a problem on the pirate planet. An enemy came in and killed a lot of pirates. A black-robed undying saint spoke. His voice buzzed, causing the entire plane to tremble. Even if he stayed in this plain world and didn't go out, he still received a lot of distress messages through the communicator. Countless pirate elders hoped that they would take action to eradicate the enemy and save the pirate planet. Therefore, he didn't go out and naturally knew what was happening on the pirate planet. Don't worry about it. We spent countless years on this sacrificial altar and finally found the Mother Earth Stone. This is a crucial thing. As for how many pirates die, it doesn't matter. They are just ants. Another undying saint sneered coldly and emotionlessly. To them, the so-called 40 Thieves Alliance was merely an organization that they had casually created to gather resources. To put it simply, it was a chess piece. If the chess piece was useless, it didn't matter if it was thrown away. There was no feeling of regret at all. Moreover, at such an important moment, they naturally wouldn't abandon what was important and run off to save those ants. This was simply putting the cart before the horse. You're right. This sacrificial altar has finally been built. Soon, we will be able to communicate with the abyss world and summon many undying demons. At that time, we will be able to increase our manpower. Slowly, we will devour this universe and completely corrupt it, turning it into a part of the abyss. Another undying saint laughed cruelly. His body emitted a dense demonic aura. It was so dark that it couldn't be dispelled. It was simply a sin from the deepest part of the abyss. If there were any pirates here, they would definitely be scared to death. They thought that the big shots behind them, the saints supporting this pirate alliance, were not humans but undying demons from the abyss world. They came out from the abyss world and had always been hiding in the human world. They had never acted blindly without thinking. This was all to carry out a world-shaking plan that could topple the universe. Soon, as long as we sacrifice this Mother Earth Stone, we will be able to open a temporary passage to the abyss world. At that time, we will be able to summon an uncountable demonic army. Kiki, that's great. For this day, I don't know how long I have waited, how much humiliation I have endured. But for the abyss, it's all worth it. The War of the Immemorial Era. This time, We will wipe away our humiliation. We will let these humans and the other races know that the strongest beings in this universe are the abyss demons. We are the true rulers. That's right. Those lowly beings can only be our slaves. They actually dared to seal us in the abyss world. This is an indelible humiliation. We must take revenge. War. Only a war that engulfs the entire universe can let those damned humans know the terror of us abyss demons. Let the beings of this universe tremble when they hear the name of us demons. The undying demons clenched their fists tightly. Their eyes were filled with hatred. The reason why they could hide for so long and have such patience was because of the humiliation and hatred that had been accumulated since the immemorial era. If it wasn't for that tragic defeat in the primordial era, they wouldn't have to be so careful and cautious. After all, a single failure like this was more than enough. It was beyond redemption. Because of this, they carefully hid in the human world, even pretending to be human saints. They secretly supported pirate organizations and slowly infiltrated the human world, gathering information about the major races of this universe. The defeat in the immemorial era was because they did not understand the major races of this universe. That's why they suffered such heavy losses. But it's different now. In order to prepare for a super war that could affect the entire universe, they became spies and gathered information. It's all for this one battle. Let's begin. Don't waste the world anymore. Immediately activate the sacrifice formation and communicate with the abyss world. Gather all the demons' power and open a passage to let countless demons descend into this world. An undying demonic devil with a pair of bull horns on his body roared, his killing intent soaring. The other 4 immortal fiendish demons also looked at each other, then immediately circulated the fiendish energy within their bodies. They formed hand seals, concealing the fiendish language. Numerous fiendish runes appeared, forming an abyssal sacrificial script. Rumble. Chapter 2120. Great Abyss, we offer the most precious treasure to you. Please open up a path for us. Let the glory of Abyss shine into this world. D.C. La, the 5 immortal ranked demons shouted at the same time. They spoke in the demon language. It seemed to be an extremely ancient language of the universe. The void trembled, attracting the attention of Abyss. Buzz buzz, in the depths of the altar. One formation after another radiated with boundless light, imprinting the void and connecting with the other dimensions. Boundless energy seeped in, transmitting the sacrificial words of the 5 immortal demonic beasts to the will of the Abyss. It's coming soon. I can feel the consciousness of Abyss. It's watching this place. Haha, we've waited for too long. We're finally going to succeed today. Come, open up the path to Abyss. Let countless Abyss demons descend into this world. I want all the humans in the universe to feel endless pain. The undying demons all became excited, their bodies trembling. They felt a great power transmitted from the depths of the altar, as if there was an eye of the Abyss staring at them. Great, merciless, evil, noble, chaotic, dark, impossible to contend against. Their souls were trembling. They wanted nothing more than to kneel before such a great power. Dong! At this moment, a cave appeared in the void far away. The world barrier of this small world was opened up. A figure immediately appeared in the sky. Who's there? An immortal ranked demon shouted, furious. At this crucial moment, communicating with Abyss and activating the sacrificial formation, they could not afford to be careless, or all their efforts would be wasted. However, there was actually an enemy that intruded into their small world, accidentally disturbing the altar. If such an accident caused the sacrificial ceremony to stop, their billions of years of patience would be destroyed. And the person who appeared here was none other than Xiaoping. Is this the place where the Mother Earth rock is? After entering this small world, Xiaoping looked down from above. He immediately saw a huge altar in this world. A piece of Mother Earth rock was placed at the center of the altar, emitting dense world energy and earth energy. The H-gold slime on his wrist immediately transmitted an extremely excited emotion. Clearly, it had also sensed the power of the Mother Earth stone, which would be of great benefit to its growth. Even the H-gold slime felt a little impatient. There are even abyss demons. Could it be that the sage of the 40 Bandits Alliance is this immortal demon? Xiaoping narrowed his eyes and sensed the presence of 5 immortal demons in this small world. He immediately knew that the people behind the 40 Pirate Alliance were not simple. 5 immortal demons actually controlled a super pirate organization and even set up an altar here. No matter how he thought about it, this matter was unusual. What's going on? A human actually broke in. We have long since set up many restrictive magic arrays in this plane. How did this kid get in? Moreover, we didn't even notice it in the beginning. Yeah, that doesn't make sense at all. This plane world is located in the depths of the dimension. Even an immortal rank saint wouldn't be able to discover it. Only a near-ancient saint rank existence would be able to detect it. But this human is at most lightning calamity peak. He can't be a near-ancient saint. Not even an immortal saint. No matter where he came from, since he discovered our secret, he has to die. He can only blame his bad luck. The 5 immortal demons' eyes were filled with killing intent. This altar was a secret they had prepared for billions of years. They could not afford to lose it. They definitely could not let it leak out. Otherwise, it would definitely attract the attacks of the human saints. At that time, their billions of years of planning would be ruined. Their many years of patience and effort would be wasted. This definitely could not happen. Kill him, one of the immortal demons shouted. He did not waste any time and immediately attacked. His body emitted a terrifying golden gung qi. However, this qi was not golden but black. It was the metal demonic qi from the abyss. With a clanging sound, it pulled out a black demonic sword from its body. The blade was filled with saw teeth. This demonic sword was refined from an abyssal demonic creature. It possessed an invincible might and was extremely sharp. It even contained a strong corrosive power. If any living being was hit by this sword, not only would they be cut in half, they would also be corroded by the abyss power and become an abyss demon. Abyss God Art, Hateful Heaven Sword. It slashed its sword towards Xiaoping, and a black sword qi seemed to split the sky into 2, tearing the void apart. The entire world was dyed black in the abyss world. At the same time, this sword energy emitted an extremely hateful intent. This was hating the heavens, hating the earth, hating demons, hating humans, hating the heavens. Hateful, hateful, hateful. This sword contained this immortal demon's extreme resentment intent. It was as if billions of years of resentment and countless demons' resentment were gathered on this sword. Even if this sword didn't reach the enemy, this intense hatred was enough to crush the enemy's soul and make them fall into endless hatred. Dark North Protector. Feeling the horror of this sword, Xiaoping immediately operated the Dark North Protection skill, and a sea immediately gushed out of his body, as if there were countless Kuan Peng surrounding his body, forming a sea barrier, encompassing everything, all-inclusive. Countless Kuan Peng runes vibrated, forming layers of space barriers. There were no gaps at all. Dong! This sword slashed on the ocean, and was immediately absorbed by the Kuan Peng runes. All the demonic sword energy, all the hatred was swallowed clean. No matter how intense the hatred was, it was useless in the boundless ocean. The vast space could contain everything. All negative emotions could be digested and turned into nothingness. Impossible. That immortal demon's eyes opened wide in disbelief. In order to kill this uninvited guest, this damned human, it didn't hold back at all. As soon as he attacked, he went all out, using his most powerful sword strike. The hatred that had been brewing for millions and millions of years erupted, shaking the heavens and the earth, shaking the universe, and encompassing everything. Even an immortal sage wouldn't be able to block this sword, even if they had an immortal body. But if it was corroded by its intense hatred, even its soul would fall into endless hatred, unable to extricate itself. Even if it was corroded by the abyssal energy, its immortal body would slowly turn into an abyssal creature. But now, this puny human in front of it, an ant that hadn't even reached the immortal realm, blocked it. It couldn't accept this fact. Chapter 21-21. Not bad. I didn't expect an abyss demon to be able to use sacred art power to such a degree. You are probably an old monster that has lived for countless years, stronger than even ordinary immortal ranked demons. Xiaoping was amazed. He had met many immortal sages, but this immortal fiendish demon in front of him was ranked in the top. It was stronger than the killing cursed demon sage, rock overlord and other immortal fiendish demons. However, these words of praise infuriated the immortal demon. His face turned the color of a pig's liver. He felt greatly humiliated and humiliated. It shouted, "Strong my ass! A mere mortal dares to comment on immortal rank saints? Who do you think you are? How dare you speak so shamelessly here?" The demon was furious. Who is it? It was an immortal rank demon from deep abyss. It was naturally strong, and had lived for billions of years. It had experienced countless battles. What was this human? He was not even immortal rank, just immortal. Yet now he was commenting here with a condescending attitude, like a senior. He said it was stronger than ordinary immortal rank demons. What kind of attitude was that? These words were clearly saying that it was not this human's match. Its full power attack was useless against him. As an immortal rank demon, its full power attack could not even kill a mortal. If this spread, it would become the laughing stock of the entire abyss world. One could well imagine how furious it was right now. Even if it had endured for millions of years, it still wouldn't be as sullen and furious as it was right now. It felt like it had been humiliated by a mortal, completely slapped in the face and trampled on. You're angry? Actually, there is no need. I have killed more than one immortal rank demon. You are just a slightly stronger one. After all, the universe is huge. Xiaoping felt that there was no need to be angry. Immortal rank demons were not the strongest in the universe. Shut up, Ant Mortal. It's not your turn to interrupt. Die immediately. The other green undying demonic demon roared. Although it wasn't the one who failed, seeing its comrade being humiliated, it was still infuriating. It felt that if they did not get rid of this human, everything they had worked for billions of years would be for nothing. They would not allow such a ridiculous thing to happen. Mortal, you dare to offend a demon from the abyss. Today, I'll make you wish you were dead. Mystic ability Demon Tree Forest. In the blink of an eye, the demon formed a seal with both hands. Everything within tens of thousands of kilometers trembled as black vines burst out of the ground, forming a dense forest. Millions or even tens of millions of black vines attacked like pythons. Dense demonic runes appeared on the surface of each vine. Ordinary power would not be able to harm these demonic vines that came from the abyss, and they also had the ability to be impervious to fire and water. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. These black vines seemed to have a life of their own, as they pounced towards Xiaoping in all directions. With a rustling sound, they formed a huge cage that sealed off every corner and space that Xiaoping could escape to. Divine ability, black water floods the sky. A fish-headed immortal fiend also made a move. It grabbed with its hand, seemingly communicating with the dimensional space, and activating the water dimension of the abyssal world. Crash, instantly, a huge amount of water surged out from its body, forming a black river that pierced through the void. This was the Black Water Mother River that came from the abyssal world. It contained powerful abyssal energy and emitted an unparalleled stench, as if it was soaked in the evilest substance in the universe. The stench was simply unbearable. Even if one sealed their 5 senses, they would not be able to stop the stench from invading their bodies. Moreover, it also contained the power of drowning. Once soaked in this river, ordinary life forms would immediately drown. Every pore on their body would be unable to breathe. Even if they did not drown, the water would invade their bodies and enter their lungs, corroding them into abyssal creatures. This was simply an abyssal river. Even an undying saint might not be able to resist it. Sun furnace. A cold light flashed in Xiaoping's eyes. Boundless flame energy gushed forth from his body, as well as countless infernal golden crow runes. With his body as the center, they rapidly condensed into a gigantic sun furnace that was tens of thousands of meters tall. Numerous infernal golden crow runes appeared on the surface of the furnace. Every rune seemed to be a miniature infernal golden crow that swam around and flapped their wings. From time to time, balls of dark golden flames would appear and rumble about. Hung long, in an instant, thousands of black vines surged over, getting close to the sun furnace. These vines should be impervious to fire and water, but the moment they came into contact with the flames of the infernal golden crow, They actually started to burn. Ah! That green undying demon immediately let out a shrill cry, because the flames had already incinerated the thousands of vines. It even lit up the entire forest as it continued to spread. One must know that each vine was an organ of its body, like its limbs. Now that it was being incinerated by the flames of hell, this was unbearable. Its soul felt like it was being tortured by the flames of hell, as its entire body started to burn. Everything within tens of thousands of kilometers was turned into a sea of flames. Damn, why is this happening? That fish-headed undying demon's pupils constricted, because it realized that the water from the Blackwater Mother River was actually unable to extinguish the flames. Instead, the entire river seemed to have been evaporated by the flames, turning into water vapor. All the abyssal energy was completely incinerated, as though it was being purified. Its ability was useless against this human. At this moment, its expression was extremely ugly, as though a giant toad had been stuffed into its mouth. Die, damned human. At this moment, another snake-headed undying demon attacked. It saw the opportunity and attacked from Xia Ping's back. Its body emitted terrifying black flames that seemed to be burning holes in the void. Such a flame ability was like the dark sun of the abyss, releasing boundless dark light. Abyss ability, burning snake devil devouring. In an instant, its entire body turned into a burning snake. Every inch of the flames contained abyssal devil flames, emitting terrifying destructive power. Even the space around it was sizzling from the heat. Each black flame contained profound and mysterious abyssal runes, twisting and distorting, as though sin was gathering, corroding the beauty and light of this world. A giant snake that was tens of thousands of feet long opened its blood-red mouth and flicked its bright red forked tongue, emitting a foul stench. It pounced towards Xia Ping, intending to swallow him in one gulp. Chapter 21-22. Scram. Xia Ping did not even look at it. He threw a punch, and the 2 billion golden crow hell cells in his body vibrated, condensing into 1 gigabyte of power. This punch broke through the vacuum, shook the surroundings, and ruthlessly smashed into the giant snake. Dong! The snake-headed undying demon was sent flying. Its body suffered from the unparalleled power, and the powerful punch penetrated its body, causing it to swell up like a balloon. With a bang, its body exploded into pieces on the spot. Even the flames were extinguished by the punch. Unfortunately, it had an undying body. In a breath's time, the blood squirmed and returned to its original state. Even so, it had suffered a great deal of damage. Human explode. In that moment, a bronze-skinned undying demon devil appeared behind him, wielding a huge bronze hammer. It was extremely dangerous as it silently closed in on Xia Ping. With a bang, it smashed down on Xia Ping's head, as if it could shatter a planet. Starry YY Book. Xia Ping formed a seal with both of his hands. From the depths of his body's orifice, every orifice emitted a ray of azure starlight. The starlight gathered together and formed a huge book. This book of stars contained the starry sky of the universe and was all-encompassing. It completely enveloped his body, and rays of starlight weaved together to form a star array. Boom! The hammer smashed onto the star book, but it was immediately blocked by the starlight. At the same time, a clanging sound rang out, and sparks flew. At the same time, a powerful rebound force was transmitted along the bronze hammer, striking the body of the bronze-colored undying demon. Ah! The bronze-colored undying demon let out a blood-curdling scream. Its hand went numb, and its entire body was sent flying. It skidded across the ground for thousands of kilometers, leaving a huge crack on its body. Even the bronze hammer in its hand was sent flying, smashing into the ground, and creating a crater with a diameter of several kilometers. Damn it! The faces of the 5 immortal fiendish beasts turned extremely ugly. They never expected that they would fail to kill a human who wasn't even in the sempiternal realm even after joining hands. In fact, it was not as simple as not being able to kill them. They were still in the stage of being beaten up, and at a disadvantage. If news of this got out, it would definitely shake the entire abyss world. When did such a terrifying human expert appear in the human world? It was simply unimaginable. Is this all you've got? Xia Ping clasped his hands behind his back and said, It's a 5 versus 1. And it's even a sempiternal realm demonic beast at that. Yet, even I am unable to defeat them. It's no wonder the demonic beasts of the primordial era would lose so badly and be chased back to the abyssal realm like stray dogs. There's a reason why they are so weak. You. Hearing this, the 5 undying fiendish demons widened their eyes in anger. Xia Ping's words were like rubbing salt on their wounds. Wait, alter our Mother Earth stone. You bastard, what did you do just now? Suddenly, the cyan immortal fiendish demon shouted. It immediately noticed a huge change on the altar. The Mother Earth stone, that was supposed to be engraved at the center of the altar, as an offering to communicate with the will of the abyss, was now occupied by a jelly basketball-sized golden say life form. This golden say creature had an excited look on its face. Like a little thief, it was munching on the Mother Earth stone, completely treating it as a delicacy. It was eating happily, and this life form was undoubtedly the H-Gold slime. While Xia Ping was fighting the 5 immortal fiendish demons, he communicated with the H-Gold slime with his will, allowing it to silently approach the altar and devour the Mother Earth stone. The plan was very successful. The H-Gold slime approached the center of the altar without anyone noticing, approaching the Mother Earth stone, without the other 5 immortal fiendish demons noticing. The 5 immortal fiendish demons couldn't be blamed. The battle was too intense. They had to be fully focused or they would die for sure. How could they notice a little thing approaching the altar under such circumstances? Little thief, stop immediately. That's our abyssal altar's sacrificial offering. Just try touching it if you dare. Seeing this scene, the 5 immortal fiendish demons were infuriated, their lungs nearly exploding. In order to make this altar a success, they paid a huge price and effort to finally find such a rare treasure like the Mother Earth stone. Without the Mother Earth stone as an offering, the will of abyss wouldn't pay attention to this place, and even open a void passage for countless immortal fiendish demons to descend. If this Mother Earth stone was eaten by this little thief, their years of effort would all go to waste. They couldn't accept such a thing. Just when they wanted to stop it, Xia Ping's figure flashed and stopped them. He said lazily, "Don't be so impulsive, no need to be angry. How about we chat for a bit? I don't have time to chat with you. Scram now or I'll kill you." The 5 immortal fiendish demons stomped their feet in anger. They wanted to kill Xia Ping on the spot. If they were any slower, the Mother Earth stone would have been eaten by that little monster. "Oh, you used those sacred arts just now. You didn't want to kill me? I want to see what other tricks you can use." Xia Ping was calm. Above his head was a book of stars. Starlight bloomed around him. Countless stars revolved around him, as if he was standing in the void. The starlight spread out in all directions, turning the surrounding 10 million kilometers into a star domain cage. No matter where the 5 undying demon kings wanted to go, they would be stopped. The 5 immortal fiendish demons were anxious. But they also knew that if it was so easy to kill this human, they would have killed him long ago. As long as this human stopped them, it would be hard for them to advance. "It's over, it's all over." At this moment, a snake-headed immortal demon fainted, his face ashen. Because while he was speaking, the Mother Earth stone on the altar had already been completely swallowed by that hateful monster. Boom! The altar had already communicated with the will of abyss. An eye shot out from the abyss, as if it wanted to open a void passage and transfer the power of abyss over. But now the Mother Earth stone was gone. There was no longer enough treasure to trigger the will of abyss. Chapter 21-23. Little bastard. Seeing this, the 5 undying fiendish demons couldn't help but roar. Their hearts were bleeding, as if someone was cutting their bodies. Look. See. Exempt. D.E. They had painstakingly prepared for countless years, lying in ambush in the human world, enduring for an unknown amount of time, suffering untold hardships, all for the sake of this day. But now it had been destroyed by this damned monster. Their years of hard work had been destroyed in a single day. One could imagine how furious they were right now. They even had the intention to kill the entire H-Gold Slime clan. Ugh! However, the H-Gold Slime burped with a satisfied look on its face. It rubbed its round belly with its little hand, obviously very satisfied with the food it had eaten. Of course, because the Mother Earth stone was extremely rare and precious, and it was a cosmos-level treasure, it wasn't so easy to completely digest it, and it required a certain amount of time. Therefore, it only temporarily swallowed the Mother Earth stone and placed it in its stomach to digest slowly. Come back. Seeing that the H-gold slime had eaten the Mother Earth stone, Xiaoping was very satisfied. He waved his hand and had the H-gold slime return. Trying to escape? You're dreaming. Damned monster, spit out the Mother Earth stone immediately. The 5 immortal rank demons were furious. They immediately wanted to attack and smash the H-gold slime into pieces. But how could Xiaoping allow them to attack the H-gold slime? Hell treasure, Morning Bee. In an instant, he pulled out the Morning Bee and slammed it into the air. The first form of the 5 styles of soul suppression stun. Waves of condensed mental energy ripples came from the Morning Bee. Millions or even tens of millions of vibrations instantly struck the 5 undying demon beasts. Immediately, the 5 immortal demons were stunned, as if they had been hit by a stick. Their bodies were in a state of dizziness, and they couldn't move at all. Xiao. Taking advantage of this gap, the H-gold slime leapt and turned into a golden ray of light, instantly returning to Xiaoping's side. Xiaoping then threw it into the mountain and river pearl space. After all, now that the H-gold slime had swallowed the Mother Earth stone, it needed a certain amount of time to digest this extremely rare cosmic grade, ore, and evolve itself. At this moment, the 5 undying demons finally recovered from their dizziness. Seeing that the H-gold slime had already disappeared, they became even angrier and vented all their anger on Xiaoping. Humans, damned humans. Hundreds of millions of years of planning, hundreds of millions of years. Do you know how we spent these years? In order to not expose our identity as people from the abyss, we endured everything and didn't take the initiative to kill the humans. This was all for the sake of the abyss plan. But now it's all ruined. You've ruined everything. Human, do you know how great of a crime this represents? Do you know what kind of grave mistake you have committed? Damned human, we'll let you know today that you've made a grave mistake. We'll let you know what the rage of the abyss is. You can't just do whatever you want. Kill him immediately. It'll be hard to quell my anger if I don't tear him into pieces. The 5 immortal demons were extremely angry. If their anger can condense into a substance, they are afraid that the entire One Piece starfield will be burned by their anger, and this place will be burned to the ground. Hundreds of millions of years of planning, hundreds of millions of years of forbearance. No one could imagine the grievance and anger in their hearts. If they succeeded, it would be worth it. But now they failed. At the last moment, their plan was destroyed by this kid. One could imagine how angry they were deep in their hearts. They simply wanted to exterminate Xiaoping's entire family. Puff! As soon as the voice fell, the 5 undying demons spat out a large amount of blood. These blood were not red but black. It seemed to be the darkness from the abyss, filled with evil, sin, darkness, emptiness, madness, chaos, destruction, and so on. In an instant, they burned all their blood and soul, increasing the power of their tanks by several times. A gigabyte of destructive energy burst out from their tanks. Without a doubt, Xiaoping's actions had completely angered them. They began to fight desperately. Even if they burned their own origin energy and damaged their soul, they had to kill this damned human. Buzz, 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 buzz. The 5 undying demons formed seals with their hands and chanted a long incantation from their mouths. These were incantations and words from the abyss world, exuding an ancient, desolate, eternal, and evil aura. It seemed to come from the abyss will, communicating with the abyss origin. A gigabyte of grand, evil, vast, and chaotic energy was instilled into their bodies. This G-power actually triggered the abyss will. Lines of abyss incantations and abyss runes suddenly condensed into black chains. The chains were engraved with dense abyss runes. They were mysterious and unfathomable, crawling on the chains like ants. Wallalab from the depths of the void, thousands upon thousands of black chains appeared in all directions. Like venomous snakes, they instantly surrounded Xiaoping. Supreme secret technique, Abyss Seal. This was a supreme secret technique from the abyss world. The 5 undying demons used their blood as sacrifices to trigger the power of the abyss while condensing the abyss chains. Once an enemy was hit by the Abyss Seal, no matter how strong they were, their power would immediately be sealed, and they would be dragged away by the Abyss chains into the depths of the Abyss world. In the primordial era, many demons from the Abyss used this secret technique when they fought with humans. Countless sages fell for this move and were pulled into the Abyss world, never to return. They died without a complete corpse and became a part of the Abyss. Die, human. It's your honor to become a part of the Abyss world. The 5 undying demons cackled. Their pupils were unfathomable and slowly rotated like black holes, devouring all living beings. They seemed to have become the puppets of the Abyss will, using the supreme power of the Abyss, will to kill all living beings. You actually want to seal me? You've got guts. But that's all you've got. You're still struggling. Today, I'll tell you that no matter what you do, you can't escape death. Xiaoping could feel the supreme Abyss will from the Abyss chains. It was unfathomable and extremely evil. It was a huge threat to him. If he was really hit by this secret technique, he would probably be doomed eternally. So he didn't want to continue playing. With a whoosh, he took out the reincarnation brush. Chapter 21-24. Die! Xiaoping held the reincarnation brush and pointed at the air. Dong! Suddenly, it caused the void to collapse. It was as if the peace base had been destroyed, forming a huge black hole that produced an extremely terrifying devouring force. The wind howled. Every single strand of hair on the reincarnation brush emitted a terrifying power of sharpness, forming an indestructible brush tip. The surrounding space was torn apart, creating terrifying spatial cracks. It was as if a supreme saint was painting in the void. Bang, bang, bang. In the blink of an eye, the tens of thousands of black abyssal chains that were rushing toward him collapsed, broken inch by inch, torn apart by the sharpness of the brush tip. A series of explosions took place nearby. All the abyssal demon chi was swept away. Impossible. What kind of artifact is that? Even the abyssal chains were cut apart so easily. It was as if they were nailed in the air by spears. This human is scarier than us abyssal blood demons. Flowed out from their wounds. He's a real monster. They also shrieked in pain. Fighting. Unimaginable pain spread throughout their bodies. The 5 immortal level fiendish demons of their combat power. The destruction of the abyssal chains reincarnation also caused them to suffer a backlash from the abyssal preventing them from using their demon power. Spit out a mouthful Even of their blood. Immortal bodies they couldn't believe their eyes. Stop, that human. Was the abyssal seal. Do you know who we are? Every chain came from the abyssal intent. Stop your violent behavior. They were indestructible. We're the vanguard of the divine artifact couldn't break them. If you kill us, but you'll be hunted by countless demons. With just a light touch, if you know what's good for you, stop now. The shot power it emitted made them tremble in fear. Otherwise, you'll be doomed. As if there was a blade on their backs. In the near future, instantly they had the urge to reappear in this universe, feeling that their life was being threatened. You humans will be wiped out. Although they had failed their mission, completely wiped out. They were heartbroken and furious. You know that? But no matter what, disrespect us, they demons couldn't lose their lives in this place. The 5 immortal level fiendish demons were furious. As soon as he said that, they threatened the 5 immortal fiendish demons. They were no longer arrogant and condescending, and gathered a powerful force. They were like stray dogs. They wanted to break the small world space to talk big and escape from this place. So what if we reappear in the universe? Trying to escape? If we could beat you in the primordial era, held the reincarnation brush coldly. Stop flattering yourselves. There was no way he would let the 5 immortal level fiendish demons escape. He waved his hand. They were top-notch nutrients for the world tree. Deep in the void. Moreover, many roots of the world other party was a demon from the abyss. They were green like spears. It was cunning and vengeful. Pierced through the bodies of the 5 immortal level fiendish demons. Once he escaped, there would be endless troubles in the future. The densely packed roots covered the destruction of their bodies like parasites. The reincarnation brush attacked again, have replaced the blood vessels at the 5 immortal level fiendish demons. What did you do to us? Immediately, how dare you blaspheme the demons in the depths of the void. 5 immortal level fiendish demons were 5 strands of hair. They felt that their bodies were no longer under their control, piercing through the void. At the same time, tearing apart the universe, rooted in their bodies, the world. Their energy was being absorbed and devoured. The 5 immortal demons they were like immediately let out mournful absorbing cries, their immortal power because their tanks were immediately pierced through by the dark gold Sameo. He didn't even want to explain. He immediately dragged the 5 immortal level fiendish demons into the world tree. Now, he had 5 immortal level fiendish demons as nourishment. He believed that he would be able to produce even more immortal fruits every month. In fact, if the abyss demons really attacked the universe, they might be able to capture even more abyss demons. Alright, this small world belongs to me now. Xiaoping scanned with his divine sense and instantly understood everything about the small world. This place could be considered the nest of the 5 immortal-level fiendish demons. It had been accumulated for billions of years. The resources they had plundered from the 40 Great Bandit Alliance were all stored here. Most of the precious materials were used to build the Abyss Altar. Each set of materials, if sold in the universe, could buy a commercial planet. One could imagine how rich the 5 immortal-level fiendish demons were. Little Gold, these are your food. Eat them all. Xiaoping waved his hand and called out H. Gold Slime. He felt that if H. Gold Slime wanted to evolve, just eating the Mother Earth Stone was not enough. It was better to eat all the materials in this altar to increase its foundation. Slime! H. Gold Slime was very excited. It had wanted to eat for a long time, but with the 5 immortal-level fiendish demons in the way, it couldn't do anything. But now it was different. No one could stop it. It began to chomp down on the food. Right, I have to plunder all the treasures on the Pirate Alliance. Xiaoping rubbed his chin. He thought of the countless treasures accumulated on other pirate planets. He had killed countless pirate elders before. These were all ownerless treasures. Naturally, they belonged to him. Chapter 21-25. Pirate Planet 40 Pirate Alliance, one of the pirate treasure houses. Boom! Xiaoping came to this place and smashed the door of the treasure house with a punch. At the same time, the surrounding protection system was completely destroyed, and the surrounding pirates were lying on the ground. These pirates tried to stop Xiaoping from entering the treasure house, but how could they resist? With just a breath, these pirates were shaken out and fell to the ground and fainted. However, there are still some powerful pirates who did not faint. They were shocked and angry, very sad and indignant. Stop, you shameless thief. These are the treasures that our Black Cat pirates have accumulated for many years. You can't just take them away like this. A pirate elder shouted. He saw Xiaoping working hard in the treasure house, and felt that his heart was dripping blood, as if his flesh was being cut. The pain was simply indescribable. Xiaoping despised and said, "You are really thick-skinned. These treasures are all robbed by you, and you still have the nerve to talk about accumulation. Only you are allowed to rob others. Others are not allowed to rob you." Fart. Robbing is not an accumulation. We pirates go through fire and water every day. We work hard. We don't have the next meal. You think it is easy to rob something? Do you know how hard we work? A group of pirates gritted their teeth and wanted to rush up to stop Xiaoping. Go to the side. I am getting rid of evil for the people, robbing the rich to help the poor. With a bang, Xiaoping waved his hand, and suddenly a strong wind blew all these pirates away. Suddenly, many pirates were seriously injured. They were half dead with anger. Robbing the rich to help the poor. This is clearly robbing their treasures to help this bastard, this poor man. Little thief, you dare to attack our Black Cat pirates. You will not have a good end. A pirate elder said with grief and indignation. Do you know who is behind our 40 Pirate Alliance? It is a saint. Do you know that there are 5 saints behind us? If the old ancestor knows what you are doing today, even if you escape to the ends of the earth, he will not let you go. You will become the public enemy of all the pirates in the universe. He shouted hoarsely. The old ancestor of your 40 Pirate Alliance, 5 saints? Are you talking about these 5 people? Xiaoping grabbed out with his hand and pulled out 5 heads from the void. They were the human heads of the 5 immortal-ranked demons. They had immortal bodies anyway. Even if one of their heads was cut off, they would quickly regenerate and not die. What? When the pirates saw this scene, their pupils shrank, and they were scared half to death. They immediately recognized that it was indeed the heads of the 40 Pirate Alliance's 5 saints. They had seen the elder ancestor several times. Even if he turned into ashes, they would still recognize him. In fact, the 5 heads even emanated the aura of a saint, containing boundless killing intent. It was as if they were beams of peerless sword chi that pierced through the void, terrifying beyond compare. If they were to get within 10 meters of the head, they would immediately be killed by the aura of the saint, and not even their bones would be left. Impossible. How could the patriarch's head be in your hands? What's going on? Many pirate elders collapsed and were at a loss. You're still asking what's going on? Of course we'll kill them all, Xiaoping said matter-of-factly. Didn't you guys rely on the support of the sages to be so unscrupulous? Now, I'll kill all the elder ancestors behind you. Let's see who else can support you. Fake, it's all fake. The elder ancestors are immortal sages. They have lived for God knows how many years. Furthermore, there are 5 of them. How can you kill them alone? It must be an illusion. It must be a fraud. That's right. You think you can scare us with a fake? You must be dreaming. How can the elder ancestors die so easily? It's impossible. I advise you to tell us the truth immediately. Otherwise, if the elder ancestors know that you're slandering their reputation, you'll wish you were dead. Many pirates went crazy. Compared to their treasury being robbed, the death of the elder ancestors was the biggest blow to them. Because if the treasures were gone, they could still snatch them back in the future. However, if the elder ancestors were dead, it meant that their backing had all fallen. This was a disaster. One must know that the 40 Pirate Alliance ran amok in the universe and offended countless forces. However, no one dared to take revenge because they had the support of the 5 sages. If the forces offended by the 40 Pirate Alliance knew that their elder ancestors were killed and their backing collapsed, then the entire Pirate Alliance would be completely finished. They would be hated by everyone and be chased by countless forces. Is that so? Then come and verify it yourself. Xiaoping didn't explain anything. He just threw the 5 heads in his hand and hung them on a wall. He continued to search for treasures in the treasury. Some pirates saw this and wanted to go forward to check. However, just as they got close, the 5 heads immediately burst out with terrifying killing intent. It pierced through the void and covered a radius of tens of kilometers. Bang, bang, bang. Those pirates who got close immediately let out mournful screams. Their bodies were immediately pierced by the killing intent and turned into a beehive. They were dripping with blood and died on the spot. Don't get close. It's real. It's real. These 5 heads are really the heads of the sages. They contain the immortal killing intent. A pirate elder screamed. He just wanted to check it out. However, he didn't expect to be pierced by a chi when he got close. His head was almost blown away. He was so scared that he almost peed his pants. Without a doubt, these 5 heads were left behind by the sages. It's over. It's over. The ancestors are all dead. They are all dead. No wonder such a big thing happened. The ancestors didn't show up. They are all dead. What should we do? If the 40 Pirates Alliance doesn't have the support of the ancestors, our Pirate Alliance will be finished. Many pirates looked at each other and didn't know what to do. The death of the 5 ancestors was like turning the world upside down. Even if they exhausted their imagination, they couldn't think that such a thing would happen. Who are you? Why do you want to deal with our 40 Pirates Alliance? How did we offend you? A pirate elder shouted and stared at Xiaoping. Even if he thought about it, he couldn't think of when and where his pirate alliance had offended such a terrifying person, which would lead to a disaster. When you robbed others, did others offend you? At this moment, Xiaoping had already looted the treasury and came out. Many pirates were speechless. They are pirates. Robbery is their innate skill. As long as others have money, they will rob them. It doesn't matter if others offend them or not. Could it be that this bastard was also like this? Seeing that the Pirate Alliance was rich, he came to rob them and killed all 5 of their ancestors? This is too arrogant. Does he think that their Pirate Alliance is a fat sheep? As for who I am, perhaps any of you have heard of my name. I am Wu Wudi, the Invincible One. Chapter 21-26. What? Hearing Wu Wudi's name, the pirates were shocked. They were shocked again and again, as if the name had struck their ears like thunder. Free cereal, you're the legendary universal wanted criminal, the one who's been hunted by countless Saint-class forces, the one who kills without batting an eyelid, the evil Wu Wudi. The group of pirates was scared half to death. They looked at Xiaoping in disbelief and took dozens of steps back in fright, as if they had encountered the plague. My God, no wonder he looks so familiar. He's the person on the wanted poster. He's the heinous, evil Wu Wudi? A pirate shouted and came to a sudden realization. No wonder he felt that the person in front of him was familiar. It was as if he had seen him somewhere before. I heard that Wu Wuti is a madman, a real villain. Pirates like us only know how to bully the weak and fear why. So we can only rob merchant ships, or take advantage of the weak defense of some countries, to rob some barren planets. However, Wu Wuti is different. He specializes in provoking saint-class sects and forces. A pirate was very familiar with Wu Wuti's deeds. The Arhat, Angel, Elven, Azura, and other extremely powerful races in the universe have all been ordered to kill him. The Wandu clan, the Xiantiang clan, the Great Sky clan, and other saint-level sects had all posted a huge bounty on his head. As long as he was killed, he would become rich overnight and obtain wealth that he could not earn in 10 lifetimes. Even if we add up the bounty of all the villains in the 40 Pirate Alliance, it would not be a fraction of his bounty. He's the most popular super-wanted criminal in recent years. Many pirates who were not very familiar with Wu Wuti were now scared to death. The 40 Pirate Alliance had countless pirates, including many who dominated the universe. Their bounty was frighteningly high. However, even when all of them were combined, their bounty was not as high as Wu Wuti's. One could imagine how evil Wu Wuti was. In the world of One Piece, the bounty represented status. The higher the bounty, the higher the status. It could be said that a villain like Wu Wuti was definitely a legendary pirate. That's nothing. It's said that he has killed many of the direct disciples of the Holy Land of Taichu, the Palace of Darkness, and even the direct descendants of the king clans of the Demon Clan. Even the sages have put a bounty on his head. A pirate gave another piece of information. He's crazy. He even dares to kill a disciple of the human race's holy land. The legs of the group of pirates began to tremble. To be honest, they were just pirates, the kind that liked to bully the weak, and were afraid of why. Even a saint-tier sect would not dare to offend them easily, for fear of being reported and destroyed on the spot. However, this guy in front of him was so terrifying that he even dared to kill the disciples of the Holy Land of Taichu and the Palace of Darkness. His guts were boundless. After all, what was the sacred land of the human race? It was the place where many sages of the human race gathered. It was one of the strongest forces in the universe, and also the greatest backing for the human race to stand at the peak of the universe. How could such a force be offended? How could their disciples be killed by an ordinary person? Even their backers, the 5 immortal patriarchs, had repeatedly warned them not to offend the disciples of the Holy Land of Taichu and the Palace of Darkness. Otherwise, they would have no choice but to sacrifice the pawns to protect the king. However, even the disciples of such forces were slaughtered by this villain. One could imagine how ferocious Wu Wuti was. It was definitely beyond everyone's imagination. When they heard about these deeds, they felt their legs tremble. This was simply a peerless demon that dominated the universe, and an unscrupulous one at that. The crimes that they had committed before were too small to be put on the table. They were like rookies. Not only is he ferocious, he's also very cunning. Previously, he committed crimes in the Eastern universe and cheated countless people. He even cheated a lot of kids out of their money. He even published a book called 36 Stratagems of Deception. I bought it back then and learned a lot from it. He's definitely a super liar. A pirate said that he had also bought a copy. It was of great benefit to his career as a pirate. He felt that his criminal skills had improved a lot. Before, he was just a baby and had not even gotten started. So it's Wu Wuti. No wonder he attacked our pirate alliance for no reason. That's completely understandable. He's a madman. He can't do anything. He even dared to kill the disciples of the holy land of the human race. We're nothing. Brother, why didn't you tell us earlier that you're Wu Wuti? If we had known, we definitely wouldn't have resisted. Take whatever you want. It's our honor. Many pirates were so scared that they crawled on the ground, not even daring to breathe loudly. They no longer had any thoughts of resisting. To fight against such a supervillain, even 10 of their lives would not be enough. Of course, some of them were a little suspicious at first, but when they saw the 5 bloody patriarchs' heads hanging on the wall, and the immortal murderous intent everywhere, they had no more thoughts. Even their backers, the 5 immortal saints, were killed. What about them? Cook Minamata Pry feed this. Xiaoping's mouth twitched. He didn't know how many pirates he had killed just now, But he didn't see this group of pirates scared like this. Some of them even wanted to resist and bite back. One could imagine how vicious these pirates were. They weren't afraid of death. It was definitely not an undeserved reputation, but after hearing his name, they all retreated in fear. They crawled on the ground and told him to take whatever he wanted and treat it as their own home. Since when did his reputation become so notorious that even these old thieves were somewhat afraid of him? Why, I'm actually a good person. They wronged me. Do you believe me? Xiaoping blinked his eyes and looked at the group of pirates. Of course I believe you. To be honest, we were all wronged. We didn't do anything about robbing or killing people. It was all framed by those rich and powerful people. Many pirates said in unison. They were scared half to death. Who dared not believe it? They were really afraid that their lives would be too long. Xiaoping. Next, his robbing business in the 40 Pirate Alliance went very smoothly. Everywhere he went, there was no one who didn't greet him warmly and warmly. Even before he arrived, a large number of pirates had already taken out all the treasures and packed them up for Xiaoping to take away. It made him feel like he was at home. He almost didn't want to leave. Of course, Xiaoping still left because this place had been dug up by him. It was poorer than anywhere else. Chapter 21-27. The news of the 40 Bandit Alliance being attacked by Wu Wuti, killing 5 immortal sages, and robbing countless treasures quickly spread throughout the universe, reaching every street and alley. Damn, Wu Wuti has appeared again. He's done another earth-shattering crime, someone exclaimed. He had thought that Wu Wuti would be well-behaved after keeping a low profile for a while. He hadn't expected him to do such a thing again, shocking the universe. You must be joking. The 40 Pirates Alliance is a pirate alliance that has run amok for God knows how long. They are vicious and cruel, and they actually have inextricable connections throughout the universe. They have countless mighty figures, and they even have the support of the 5 saints. That Wu Wuti actually dared to provoke the 40 Pirates Alliance. He didn't just provoke them. He killed his way into the 40 Pirates Alliance's lair. Even the 5 sages were killed. Their heads are hanging on the wall. Oh my god, Wu Wuti is getting scarier. He can even kill sages now. How terrifying is he now? No one can do anything to him. Many people were dumbfounded when they heard the news. This was especially true for the various races of the southern universe. They were deeply poisoned by the 40 Pirate Alliance. The sempiternal realm. It was unknown how many commercial spaceships had been robbed by these pirates. Even if he has committed by the 40 Thieves Alliance were simply too numerous to list. It'll still be incredibly difficult for him to kill an undying sage. No one had been able to do anything to them. He felt that what had happened was ridiculous. They had the support of a saint. It might not be Wu Wuti's doing, and their backer was very powerful. Someone said solemnly. Most importantly, according to our intel, they knew when to stop. He has an undying Gaia protector faction by his side, and only bullied the commoners without any background. himself who suppressed the 40 Pirates Alliance of the 40 Thieves Alliance. But now, he voiced out his pirate alliance that had run amok for God knows how many tens of thousands of years had been destroyed by Wu Wuti. If undying Gaia was the one who did it, they all thought they had heard with some other methods. However, suppressing the 5 undying sages of the 40 Thieves Alliance disbanding many people nodded and going their separate ways. They felt that this was a reasonable explanation. Everyone had no choice but to believe it. A cultivator who had not even reached the lightning 40 Pirates Alliance and the death of the 5 undying sage. How could this notorious pirate alliance, the thought of such a thing happening made them feel like they had gone crazy. But even if it wasn't Wu Wuti, also received with undying Gaia by his side, their faces were extremely so easy to kill. Damn it, that's true. This Wu Wuti is getting stronger and stronger like we did before. He can even kill 5 undying saints. Only no one can stop him above the near ancient sage. Someone said with an ugly expression. We have to change our strategy. To take advantage of Wu Wuti's can only gather in time to get rid of him. We can't act rashly and alert the enemy. Before he could find Wu Wuti, immediately, Wu Wuti factions gave the order to change their previous strategy. Intimidated them. They could only gather intel and not act rashly. After all, that this enmity could not be avenged that could suppress and kill even the 5 undying sages. The lightning tribulation realm acted rashly. They would only be sending themselves to their deaths. They would not cause any harm to Wu Wuti. At this moment, in the star field where the 40 Pirates Alliance was. At this time, all the pirates that had stayed here had run away. 30,000 planets were empty, and the originally bustling area had become extremely gloomy. Because of the death of the 5 sages, the 40 Pirates Alliance's greatest backer had collapsed, causing the pirate alliance to perish. If they dared to stay here, they would definitely be crushed to ashes by the countless factions they had offended before. If they were captured, they would definitely suffer a fate worse than death. Even if the factions they had offended did not act, the other factions that had been drooling over the 40 Pirates Alliance's treasures would definitely act to kick them while they were down. These pirates were all cunning characters. How could they not understand this logic? Therefore, after Xiaoping left, they also fled from this place, breaking up into smaller groups and drifting to various parts of the universe. In any case, with their strength, there would definitely be a place for them in the vast universe. As long as they changed their appearances, no one would be able to tolerate them. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. At this time, 3 uninvited guests appeared on the pirate planet. They broke through space and arrived on the wall where the 5 sages' heads were hanging. The 3 of them were human saints with unfathomable power. Originally, the pirates wanted to take this opportunity to take away the sages' heads. After all, they were sages' heads, so they must be priceless items. However, no one could get close. Those who dared were all killed by the sage's deathly aura. As time slowly passed, the deathly aura seemed to have connected to a dimensional space and absorbed the world's essence energy, forming a resonance and slowly expanding. Now the area within several dozen kilometers had become a dead zone. Therefore, they could only give up on this thing that did not belong to them. As expected, it's the sages behind the 40 Pirates Alliance. The human sages stared at the 5 heads. No, these aren't sages, they're abyssal demons. Although their forms have changed, the abyssal power contained in their heads is definitely not fake. It's so dark that it's disgusting. Another human sage frowned. His tone was filled with killing intent. Clearly, he hated these abyssal demons and wanted nothing more than to get rid of them. Chapter 21-28. The information was right. The 5 immortal saints behind the 40 Thieves Alliance are actually demons from the abyss. One of the H-clothed saints said in a deep voice. No wonder we've never heard of them before, and they've never cultivated in the holy land of Taichu or the Palace of Darkness. We thought they were born with sea roots, and they refused our offers again and again. It turns out that they're afraid of exposing their identities. Unfortunately, we learned of this too late. They had received some relevant information and tried to investigate. Unfortunately, they discovered that the saints behind the 40 Thieves Alliance had been killed before they could find out anything. That made them rush over to check out the situation. No, it's not too late. Look at the 5 heads. Blood-wise life force is strong, and there's also immortal substance. I'm afraid the 5 immortal demons are still alive, a blue-robed saint said. No, it's not too late. Not dead. Could it be that Wu Wuti didn't kill them? What is that kid trying to do? Another black-robed saint narrowed his eyes with a murderous intent. I'm not sure. Anyway, the 5 immortal demons seem to have been suppressed by Wu Wuti. Their souls can't even escape. I'm afraid they're in a worse state than dead. I can feel endless fear from the depths of their souls. The blue-robed saint formed a seal with both hands. A strange power penetrated through space-time and penetrated the 5 immortal heads. He seemed to have sensed something. With a thud, the 5 immortal heads seemed to be unable to withstand the power. They immediately shattered and turned into dust, unable to recover. What? He made the abyssal demons feel fear, and was even suppressed. Who is this Wu Wuti? The H-robed saint was shocked. He knew how terrifying the immortal demons were. They were the kind that did not fear death. Not all of them were death warriors, but they would never feel fear from ordinary torture. After all, they were born in the abyss world. They had experienced all kinds of torture, and were used to it. I'm not sure. Many people are investigating Wu Wuti's origins. Unfortunately, there are no clues at the moment. There were even ancient sages who used time reversal, but they couldn't find anything about him. He's very mysterious. It seems like he's protected by an inexplicable force, said the blue-robed saint. Look, there's a small world here. It should be the lair of that undying demon. The black-robed saint seemed to have sensed something. He made a grabbing motion with his hand. With a thump, he instantly pierced through the void and opened a spatial door. He directly arrived at the small world where the abyssal altar was. The three sages' bodies flashed, and they immediately blocked the small world. When they saw the state of the small world, their faces changed. Damn it, this is the abyssal altar. It was built by communicating with the abyssal will. There seems to be offerings on it. Are they trying to connect the abyssal world and the universe to allow countless demons to descend? The blue-clothed saint's expression changed drastically. When he saw this altar, he immediately knew what had happened. This was because similar abyssal altars had appeared countless times throughout history. Every time, it would bring disaster to the human world, and it would summon countless demons from the abyss world. This altar is not simple. It was not meant to be a temporary passageway, but a permanent passageway. Fortunately, it was destroyed in time, or else this place would have become a demonic domain and countless demons would have descended. The black-robed saint's face was solemn. Damn it, this kind of permanent altar is definitely not something that can be built in a day or two. They need to gather a lot of materials and spend a lot of time. This is a long-term plan. When did they sneak into the universe? What are they planning? These abyssal demons are organized. They're definitely not scattered soldiers. What level of demons can drive so many undying demons to carry out such a long-term plan? Could it be that the abyss world has been unified? I'm not sure, but this matter must be reported immediately. It is not a small matter. And that Wuxia, we must find him too. Perhaps he knows something. Otherwise, he would not have appeared here for no reason. Perhaps he already knew about this and came to stop us. The three sages looked at each other and immediately left this place. But before they left, they completely sealed this starfield. No one could enter or leave as they wished. This was already treated as an important place for evidence. Perhaps there were still some secrets that they had not discovered. At this time, in the abyss world, on a vast demon continent, there was a huge majestic palace. Many huge dark golden chairs appeared in the depths of the palace. Phantoms appeared on them, emitting a powerful demon aura that seemed to distort the P-space. Salada and the others have failed. One of the largest dark golden shadows had an illusory figure that seemed to have 3,000 eyes. Each eye contained a strange and mysterious power that was unfathomable. What trash can't even do a single thing? A cold voice was heard, filled with anger. According to the plan, they should have opened the void passage between the abyss world and the universe, and let a large number of demons descend as backup troops. They would attack at the crucial moment and catch all living beings off guard. But they couldn't even do such a small thing. Instead, they were discovered by humans, and even the altar was destroyed. When the 5 undying demons died, the news also reached the abyss world. It was furious. It felt that the demons had spent a lot of effort and resources to send the 5 of them out of the abyss world, so that they could hide peacefully. But in the end they still failed. This ruined many of their plans. Who dares to ruin our plans? That person must die. It seems to be a human called Wuxia. Damn guy, remember him. When the abyss world invades the universe, that will be the time of his death. List him as an enemy of the abyss and kill him. The demons were filled with murderous intent. Angry voices came from the thrones from time to time. Everyone calm down. At this time, the illusory voice was heard again. This is just a small failure. It doesn't matter. I have prepared many similar backup plans. The abyss world invades the universe. This is the general trend. No one can stop it. Even if there are some small setbacks along the way, it won't hurt the foundation. Continue with the next plan. Its voice seemed to contain a strange power of comfort and charm. Yes. All the fiendish demons nodded, their anger quickly subsiding. Wuxia, this person is just a small fry, but he killed the elites of the abyss. This is a great enmity. No one can kill the elites of the abyss without paying a price. I will order the demons hidden in the universe to take his head back and imprison him in the abyss. They will make him wish he was dead. This illusory voice was cold and emotionless. It contained a monstrous killing intent that seemed to have triggered the will of the abyss. Chapter 21-29. At this moment, The stars were flying aimlessly somewhere in the southern universe. C. Free? D. Eat Mountain River Pearl Space. Beep beep. Xia Ping was happily sorting out his gains from the pirates this time, when he suddenly heard a prompt from the system. Congratulations to the host. This time you have attracted a lot of hatred from the pirates and the abyss demons. A total of 80 hatred crystals have been obtained. I hope the host will continue to work hard. 80 hatred crystals? When he heard the system's voice, his eyes lit up. In addition to the hatred crystals he had obtained before, he now had a total of 700 hatred crystals on him. He still needed 300 hatred crystals to collect 1,000 hatred crystals. At that time, he would definitely get a big gift from the system. He did not know what treasures would be given. However, this time he actually attracted the hatred of the abyss demons. It seemed that killing the 5 immortal demons had seriously destroyed the plans of the abyss demons. Obviously, the abyss demons hated him. Xia Ping could feel the hatred of the abyss demons from the system. Forget it, this is just a small matter. The harvest this time is really great. After a while, he stopped paying attention to these things and continued to count the treasures he had obtained from the pirates. First was the Spirit YS. There were 100 stalks of 100,000-year-old Spirit YS, 10,000 stalks of Spirit YS that were above 10,000 years old, and countless Spirit YS that were less than 10,000 years old. Unfortunately, he did not get Sage Y that was more than 1,000,000 years old. Sage Y was too precious and was not a treasure that these pirates could obtain. Or rather, even if they got it, they would definitely offer it to the 5 immortal demons first. They would not get their turn at all. Next was Pill Y. The Golden Restoration Pill, Wood Restoration Pill, Water Restoration Pill, Fire Restoration Pill, Earth Restoration Pill, Sea Restoration Pill, and so on were also innumerable. More than 100 million bottles. Ordinary Pill Y had already exceeded 10 billion. If it was sold, it would definitely be an earth-shattering wealth. Even an ordinary saint-level sect might not be able to get so many Pill Y in a short time. Of course, these Pill Y were no longer of any use to him. Generally, they could only be used to exchange for money or to train his subordinates. As for some magic treasures, they were even more innumerable. They were piled up like mountains, filling up hundreds of mountains, forming a magic treasure city, emitting bursts of treasure light. However, after obtaining so many treasures, it wasn't as if there wasn't anything that moved Xia Ping. Sound pattern stone. This is a strange, or that Xia Ping got from a pirate's treasure house. It is about the size of a fist. It is blue like the sea, and it is covered with dense strange lines. With a slight knock on the oar, a unique sound immediately reverberated. The sound could be heard clearly from tens of millions of kilometers away. It was so crisp that it even penetrated the void, and visible ripples could be seen, directly transmitted to the depths of one's soul. Even if he covered his ears, he couldn't block out the sound of the sound vein stone. Without a doubt, this was no ordinary voice. It was the voice of the soul. If there were a little more of these sound pattern stones, with a little more power, they could directly destroy the souls of ordinary people. Even immortal sages might not be able to withstand it. It really is a heavenly treasure. Xia Ping narrowed his eyes. He immediately logged into the internal channel of the Holy Land of Taichu and inquired about the sound stone. As expected, this was an extremely precious cosmic ore. It seemed to be produced in a mysterious and strange world in the singularity zones of the central universe. There was a huge mysterious mountain in that place, which was called the Demonic Sound Mountain. It would transmit terrifying demonic sounds at all times. Even sages would be shocked to death when they got close, and their souls would be completely destroyed. Therefore, the Demonic Sound Mountain was also known as the Life Forbidden Zone. No living creature could enter, and even getting close to it would result in death. The ores produced in this place were also very valuable. Many sages were eager to obtain some sound pattern stones, hoping to refine some powerful sage weapons. Unfortunately, such ores were very difficult to obtain. Even if someone was lucky enough to obtain one, it would be immediately bought by a sage. It would never appear on the market. However, He found it strange that a sound-patterned stone would appear in the southern universe. This was a cosmic, or that only appeared in the singularity zones of the central universe. It was extremely precious and priceless. However, Xiaoping thought about it carefully. The universe was too big. Even if the sound-patterned stone had appeared in the singularity zones, it didn't mean that it didn't exist in other places. Perhaps some adventurer had accidentally found it somewhere. And this sound-patterned stone had also been spread out and left in the hands of a pirate. Unfortunately, these pirates didn't know what it was. They only thought it was an ordinary strange, or that could cause sound to vibrate. After all, if the sound wasn't strong enough, it wouldn't have much destructive power. This is good stuff. If I can get enough sound-patterned stones, then my life treasure, the Bell of Chaos, will immediately transform and evolve. Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. His Bell of Chaos was actually in the process of transforming, but it was still lacking something. If he could add these sound-patterned stones to the Bell of Chaos, he would immediately be able to stir up the soul sound. At that time, the Bell of Chaos would truly contain unparalleled destructive power. This was like adding wings to a tiger. Even an immortal sage might not be able to resist the power of the Bell of Chaos. This would also become his true killing weapon. He would be invincible. It's still too little. There's only one. Xiaoping felt very regretful. He had only obtained one sound-patterned stone from a pirate. If he had a little more, he might be able to upgrade the Bell of Chaos. He touched his chin. Perhaps he could use the wish compass to find the location of the sound-patterned stone. Xiaoping. At this time, Qiuxiu and Sumei flew over from afar. They also brought the young Trant girl Ruth. Master Xia. The Trant tribe's young lady Ruth respectfully said to Xiaoping with a face full of reverence. What are you here for? Xiaoping asked curiously. Who wants to find you? Qiuxiu snappily said. It's just that Ruth seems to have something to say to you, so we brought her to this place. Oh. Xiaoping raised his eyebrows. He looked at the Trant girl. To be honest, the young Trant girl in front of him gave him a strange feeling. It seems that she resonated with the world tree in the depths of his sea of consciousness. Her wonderful power is of great benefit to the world tree. Master Xia, may I ask if the Lord God is with you? The young Trant girl Ruth gathered her courage and asked, looking at Xiaoping with a look of expectation. Lord God? What are you talking about? Xiaoping blinked his eyes. Lord God is not a thing. Hearing this, the young Trant girl Ruth was very angry, but she quickly came to her senses and quickly changed her words. No, I didn't mean that. It is a thing. No, my God, what did I say? Lord God, forgive me. Chapter 2130. Alright, stop fooling around with Ruth here. Qiuxiu and Sumei looked at Xiaoping angrily. Alright. Xiaoping shrugged and said. Are you referring to it when you say Lord God? He moved his mind, and immediately let the tree of world fly out from the depths of his sea of consciousness. Boom! Suddenly, a towering tree with a height of 100,000 feet appeared above Xiaoping's head. Thousands of roots were rooted in the void, and seemed to penetrate countless dimensions. It was emerald green, and contained infinite vitality. Every leaf on it was extremely bright, and engraved with dense runes, emitting the aura of the world. Every branch seemed to be able to communicate with dimensions, and every leaf represented a world. Its towering trunk stood in the void, as if it was a great life that had existed since ancient times. It seems to have grown a lot. Xiaoping touched his chin. The tree of world had always been hidden in the depths of his sea of consciousness. It could turn illusory into reality, and also turn illusory into reality. It was an extremely wonderful and mysterious life. Even though he knew that the tree of world had grown a lot, he did not expect that it had grown from a seed into a towering tree with a height of 100,000 feet. Of course, compared with its mature state, it was just a small sapling. It should be in its infancy, and could not be considered to have entered the growth stage at all. It was the first time for Qiuxiu and Sumei to see the tree of world. They were shocked at once, and received a great impact. They seemed to have seen a great life that contained endless mysteries of the universe. The dense lines on the leaves seemed to represent the rules and laws of the universe. Even a sage seemed to be completely unable to compare with such a great life. If it were not for their strong willpower and Xiaoping's control, perhaps they would not even have been able to stand in front of the Tree of World. Just a wisp of its aura could crush the sky. Lord God. At this moment, Ruth of the Tree tribe had already knelt on the ground. She was extremely devout, as if she was looking at her ancestor. Her expression was extremely excited and fanatical. Feeling the aura of the Tree of World, her emerald green hair fluttered, and dense green runes appeared all over her body, emitting a holy aura. And this aura seemed to have an inexplicable resonance with the Tree of World. Dong! In the blink of an eye, the World Tree seemed to have sensed something. It emitted a beam of green light, which instantly shone on the forehead of the Tree tribeswoman Ruth. Immediately, a mysterious emerald green pattern appeared on her forehead, making her even more mysterious and unfathomable. It was as if she had become the child of life, containing endless vitality. Crash, her body gave off boundless green light, and the countless weeds and trees on the ground seemed to have received great benefits. They quickly grew, and some even bloomed and bore fruit, shortening their lifespans. Thank you, Lord God, for your reward. The Treant girl Ruth was extremely grateful. It seemed that her power had increased several times. This was a gift from the World Tree. Xiaoping's heart skipped a beat. Through the World Tree, he sensed that he had formed a mysterious spiritual connection with the young tree folk girl Ruth. It was as if he could sense Ruth's thoughts at any time, anywhere. System, what race is the Treant race? Why are they related to the World Tree? Xiaoping's heart skipped a beat as he asked the system. Host, the Treant race is one of the servants and soldiers of the World Tree. They have all kinds of powerful abilities, and they have an extremely high affinity with plants. The system replied, if you can subdue the Treant race, it will be of great benefit to the host. They have innate abilities and magical powers in cultivating plants, spiritual herbs, spiritual grains, and so on. Moreover, their combat power is extremely strong. Most importantly, the source energy in their bodies is also of great benefit to the growth of the World Tree. The more Treants there are, the more energy they can provide to the World Tree. Both sides complement each other. There's such a thing. Hearing the system's words, Xiaoping touched his chin and looked at the young Treant girl Ruth in front of him. Lord Xia, please save our Treant race. Ruth looked at Xiaoping with a pleading look. Save the Treant race? What's going on? Xiaoping asked. It's like this, Ruth said in a deep voice, and told him about the crisis of the Treant race. About hundreds of millions of years ago, the Treant race's holy tree encountered a problem. It fell ill. Countless elders of the Treant race tried all kinds of methods, but they were unable to save the holy tree, nor could they find the cause of the holy tree's illness. As time passed, the holy tree weakened bit by bit. Now the holy tree had reached the end of its life, and it could die at any time. However, the holy tree was extremely important to the Treant race. If the holy tree died, it would deal a heavy blow to the entire Treant race, causing the Treant race to gradually decline. Even the birth of Treants would decrease, and eventually, the Treant race would perish. It was the source of life for the entire Treant race. In order to find a way to save the holy tree, the so-called elders of the Treant race sent countless Treants to various parts of the universe to search for the ancestor of all plants, the World Tree. Only by finding the World Tree could they hope to save the holy tree and the Treant race. However, countless years passed. Countless Treant race paid a huge price and shed blood, but they still couldn't find the World Tree. Ruth didn't expect that she would actually find the traces of the World Tree. She was instantly overjoyed, thinking that she had finally found a way to save the Treant race. Lord Xia, if you are willing to save the holy tree of our Treant race, our Treant race is willing to submit to you. We will sign an eternal covenant and become your vassal race. Ruth said in a serious tone. Really? Do you have the authority to do so? Xiaoping raised his eyebrows. Ruth nodded. Of course I do. Anyone who can save our Treant race is the benefactor of our race. Moreover, Lord Xia has signed an agreement with the Lord God. You are the symbol of the Lord God. I believe that no Treant would object to our Treant race becoming Lord Xia's vassal race, she said in a serious tone. I see. Xiaoping raised his eyebrows. The biggest reason why the Treant race was willing to submit to him was probably because of the world tree. It had an innate suppressive and commanding power over all plants. It was the ancestor of all plants. It was only natural that the Treant race would submit to the world tree. Moreover, they would probably obtain endless benefits by cultivating under the world tree. Lord Xia, what do you think? Ruth looked at Xiaoping nervously. All right. I also want to see what the Treant race's holy tree looks like. Xiaoping rubbed his chin. He could sense that if he could obtain the power of the holy tree, it would probably be of great benefit to the growth of the world tree. It would be able to speed up the growth of the world tree. Chapter 2131. Thank you, Lord Xia. Hearing this, the Treant tribe girl Ruth was overjoyed and excited. But where is your Treant tribe's territory? Xiaoping asked curiously, because the Treant race was very mysterious in the universe. Although they were very powerful, and the reputation of the Treant race had spread throughout the universe, no one knew where the Treant race was located. The place where we live is called the Tree World. It's a beautiful and peaceful world with lush greenery everywhere. It's full of life. The Treant tribe girl Ruth said in a deep voice. But our world can move. Its main body is actually our Treant tribe's sacred tree. It is erratic, so no one can find out where our Treant tribe's world is. I see. Xiaoping nodded, indicating that he understood why the Treant tribe's holy tree was so important to them. It turned out that the tree world was the foundation of the Treant tribe. If the holy tree was destroyed, the entire tree world would cease to exist. The Treant tribe's home would disappear, and they would have nowhere to hide. At that time, these homeless Treants would probably be captured by other races and treated as slaves. Even without the holy tree's power, their power would slowly decline. Then how do we find the tree world? Xiaoping asked. I don't have any way, but we can find Elder Rich of the Treant tribe. He has a way to contact the tree world and know where it is, said. She indicated that the only way to contact the Treants scattered in the southern universe was through Elder Rich. Only through Elder Rich could they return to the tree world. This elder was also extremely powerful, having reached the peak of the Thunder Tribulation realm. He had lived for 1,000,000 years and could be called an old antique. His long lifespan was also one of the characteristics of the Treant tribe. Then where is Elder Rich? Xiaoping asked. Ruth thought for a moment and said, Elder Richie lives on Red Saturn, a business center planet in the southern universe. This place seems to be the chaotic zone of the southern universe. People from all walks of life gather here, so they are very well informed. The reason why the elder chose this place seems to be that there is a lot of information in this place. We can get news about the Lord God at any time. And if we find clues about the Lord God, we can also go to Red Saturn to find the elder. Red Saturn? Alright, I understand. I'll go find him tomorrow. Xiaoping nodded and immediately made a decision. Thank you, Lord Xia. The Treant tribe girl Ruth said excitedly. Ruth, I'm really sorry. It's all because we didn't come in time that your family was in trouble. Xiaoxiu and Sumei both looked at Ruth apologetically. No, it doesn't matter. It's the fault of those pirates. It has nothing to do with you. If it weren't for you two sisters, I wouldn't have found Lord God so quickly. From this point of view, I should be grateful to you. Most importantly, my parents aren't dead yet. The Treant tribe girl Ruth smiled. Not dead? How is that possible? I clearly saw them. Xiaoxue and Sumei were both very surprised. You saw them being chopped into dozens of pieces, didn't you? But they're not dead yet. Ruth of the Treant tribe took out a few green seeds from her body and said, Do you see the seeds in my hand? These are my parents. Before they died, they activated the Treant tribe's innate magical ability. They degenerated into seeds and saved their lives. If they return to the holy tree's side, they will be resurrected. However, the Treant race can only use this innate divine ability 3 times in their lifetime. She held up 3 fingers. Innate divine ability. Xiaoxiu and Sumei were surprised. They didn't expect the Treant tribe to be so magical. They can actually turn into seeds and resurrect again. This is equivalent to getting 3 lives. It's no wonder that the Treant tribe is so famous in the universe. This kind of innate divine ability is really powerful. Moreover, most people don't know that the Treant tribe has such a magical ability. They think that being chopped into dozens of pieces, and their soul aura disappearing, means that the Treant tribe is dead. In fact, they just condensed all their soul energy into seeds, and escaped without being noticed. Many enemies didn't know about this, and let the Treant tribe escape alive. After knowing this, they immediately felt relieved, and their mood was very happy. After the Treant tribe girl Ruth got Xiaoping's promise, she was very relieved, and went to rest. She has been imprisoned for so long. She has long been physically and mentally exhausted, and hasn't had a good rest. This time she finally felt relieved. Xiaoping, what about the slave girls? What are you going to do with them? Xiaoxiu and Sumei both looked at Xiaoping. What should I do with them? Of course, they will stay here as coolies to plant spirit herbs and spirit grains for me. Of course, I took them and not because they are beautiful, have good figures, and have long legs. Xiaoping said carelessly, indicating that he absolutely has no evil intentions. He has already ordered the green ox to make proper arrangements for these slave girls. Moreover, these slave girls can't go back. Their relatives are basically all dead. Even if they go back, they will have no relatives to rely on. Most importantly, even if their relatives are not all dead, and they know some of his secrets, it is impossible for them to leave this place. No matter what, they can only stay in this place. Hee, I'll be a fool if I believe your words. Xiaoxiu and Sumei both snorted, and looked at Xiaoping with disdain. They absolutely don't believe that this bad guy doesn't have any evil intentions. If they weren't in this place, they are afraid that this bastard would have already started sleeping together, and lived an extravagant life of debauchery. Why not? With you 2 great beauties by my side, how can I look at other women? Xiaoping said righteously. Men, things that they haven't eaten before, even if it's sex, are fragrant. Why would they care if it's beautiful or not? Sumei said with disdain, as if she could see through the man's dirty mind. Xiaoxiu also hugged her breasts with both hands, looking as if she had seen through Xiaoping. If that's the case, I don't know if you guys believe it or not. Xiaoping stepped forward, grabbed the 2, and directly took them away and pushed them down. Let go, stinking hooligan. Xiaoxiu and Sumei panicked. Give me children, give me a bunch. Xiaoping pushed the 2 down. Get lost. Why don't you go die and give birth to a bunch? What do you think we are? You, what do you want to do to us? Where do you want to put your hands? Ah, my clothes, you actually tore them. Do you know that these clothes are very expensive? Bastard, you don't even let go of the teacher, you beast. Chapter 2132. A day later, Xia Ping and Ruth of the Treant race quickly arrived at Red Soil Planet, in the central starfield of the southern universe. The soil of this planet was basically red, and it looked like a bright red planet. Hence, it was called Red Soil Planet because it looked exceptionally beautiful. This planet was indeed a famous commercial planet in the southern universe. People from all walks of life appeared here, and countless spaceships entered and exited the planet. It was extremely lively. Xia Ping steered the stars into Red Soil Planet silently. Anyway, the planet's defense system could not detect the existence of the stars at all. Where is that Elder Richie? Xia Ping asked Ruth of the Treant race. Lord Xia, Elder Ricky should be an alchemist in Red Soil City, the largest commercial city on Red Soil Planet. Uth indicated that many elders of the Treant race were alchemists. This was because they were very experienced in cultivating spirit herbs, and could cultivate a large number of spirit herbs. This way, they could refine a variety of pills more than other alchemists, and they were also more experienced. In addition to the Treant race's innate abilities, the pills they refined were better than those of other alchemists. The efficacy of the pills could be increased by at least 30%, or even more if they were lucky. Therefore, the Treant race was also considered a very famous alchemist in the universe. Many people hoped to obtain a large number of pills refined by the Treant race, which was considered a best-selling product. This had also allowed the Treant race to accumulate a huge amount of wealth. Red Soil City? Alright, let's go and take a look. Xia Ping nodded. It seemed that the place where the stars landed was not very far from Red Soil City. Swoosh. A few minutes later, he entered Red Soil City with Ruth. A huge city appeared in front of them, and it seemed to be surrounded by a huge, transparent eggshell-like energy shield that seemed to contain dense rune arrays. Ordinary laser cannons could not penetrate the energy defense here. In the sky, there were hundreds of spaceships patrolling, and there were also a large number of guards around the city gate. They were armed with laser guns and patrolled everywhere, checking for all dangers. Creatures of countless races from all over the universe also came from all directions. Some landed near the port, while others came from other cities and entered through the city gate. Clearly, the defense of this Red Soil City was extremely powerful. Even if a Thunder Retribution Realm expert fought here with all his might, he might not be able to break the city's restrictive formation. Lord Xia, Red Soil City is a very famous commercial city in the southern universe. Many people come here to trade and sell all sorts of treasures of heaven and earth. If Lord Xia has anything you want, you can find it here. The tree tribe girl Ruth seemed to be very familiar with this place, as if she was very familiar with it. But this place is also very dangerous. Bad people from all over the world will appear here, so the security here is very strict. She said that Red Earth City was a chaotic place where countless forces of the southern universe gathered. Many pirate groups, mafias, criminal groups, and so on would appear in this place. It was very chaotic. Even though there were a lot of patrols in this area, it was impossible to prevent the appearance of danger. At this time, Xia Ping and Ruth approached the city gate. Suddenly, a loud voice came from the city gate. What? Say it again if you have the balls. You actually have to pay 100 universe credits to enter Red Soil City? Have you lost your mind? A blue-clothed young man was arguing with several soldiers at the city gate. It seemed that there were more than a dozen people beside the blue-clothed man, and they all looked fierce. Friend, if you want to enter Red Soil City, you have to pay 100 universe credits as an entrance fee. No one is an exception. After all, every inch of land in Red Soil City is worth its weight in gold. If you can't even pay 100 universe credits, you can forget about buying anything else. I hope you can forgive me, several soldiers at the city gate said. Their faces were full of disdain, as if they despised the blue-clothed man in front of them for not even having 100 universe credits. Shut up. Seeing such a look, the blue-clothed young man shouted angrily. I don't care about the rules of Red Soil City. Do you know who I am? How dare you charge me an entrance fee? I'm really ignorant. May I know who you are, sir? The soldiers were stunned. Listen up. I'm Wu Wudi, a sinner who has committed countless crimes and killed countless people. The blue-clothed young man stood with his hands behind his back, revealing an arrogant look. What? Hearing this, the soldiers were scared half to death. You're the universe-level wanted criminal Wuxia, who recently destroyed the 40 Thieves Alliance and killed 5 sages. Their faces immediately turned ashen, and their hearts turned cold. Oh my god! The super-wanted criminal Wuxia actually appeared in Red Soil City? I've seen the wanted portrait before. This blue-clothed young man looks exactly like the one in the portrait. He's too arrogant. He just destroyed the 40 Thieves Alliance not long ago, and now he dares to appear so brazenly. How can he not be arrogant? The 5 sages have been killed. Who else is his match? It's over. Those soldiers actually dared to offend Wuxia. Even if they have a few lives, they won't be enough. It's not just that. If Wuxia gets angry, the entire Red Soil City will be finished. Indeed, no matter how powerful Red Soil City is, it doesn't have the support of the 5 sages. The surrounding people discussed and were shocked. Looking at the blue-clothed young man in front of them, they were all terrified and retreated, as if they had encountered a peerless demon. They were afraid that they would anger the super demon in front of them and suffer a calamity. After all, Wuxia's name had already spread throughout the entire southern universe, to the point where he could stop a child from crying. The soldiers in front of the city gate were scared half to death. Their legs were trembling. They knew that they had offended a terrifying big shot. Seeing the expressions of the surrounding people, the blue-clothed man became even more smug. What? Are you still going to charge me an entrance fee? Do you believe that I won't get angry and slaughter the entire Red Soil City? Sir, please calm down. Please calm down. We have eyes but failed to recognize you. Since Sir Wu wants to enter Red Soil City, it's naturally free. If anyone dares to pay, I'll immediately take their head. At that moment, a few captain-level figures immediately walked out of the city gate. They hurriedly stepped forward, sweating profusely. At least you know what's good for you. If you were a step too late, your Red Soil City would have been slaughtered. Those who dare to offend me, Wuxia, don't even know how to spell the word death. Remember to keep your eyes open next time. Don't look down on people all day long. The blue-clothed young man was very arrogant. He swaggered into Red Soil City with a group of his subordinates. The surrounding people did not even dare to breathe. They all lowered their heads, afraid that the peerless demon in front of them would fly into a rage. Chapter 2133. In front of the city gate. When Xiaoping saw this, he did not expect that someone in the universe would dare to impersonate him. Moreover, many people believed him. Did this kid not know how much trouble he had caused? Once his enemies found out, this guy would not be able to bear the consequences. Thinking of this, he did not continue to care. He paid the entrance fee and entered Red Soil City with Ruth. After entering Red Soil City, Xiaoping found that the city lived up to its name. It was well connected and neatly planned. There were many shops, and it was very lively. Many races from all over the universe did business here. His spiritual consciousness casually explored, and he could sense many treasures appearing and disappearing in this place. And the entertainment industry seemed to be very developed. There were all kinds of dirty places. If one had money, this place would be heaven. This kid is still cheating here. Xiaoping planned to find the tree tribe elder Richie, but before he could go any further, he saw a blue-clothed youth with a group of subordinates in front of him. They seemed to be bullying people in a magic treasure shop. What did you say? This magic treasure is selling for 100,000 universe dollars. What a profiteer. You're clearly robbing me. The blue-clothed youth picked up a magic treasure and shouted, Sir. The shop owner hurriedly said, It's reasonable for us to sell it for 100,000 universe dollars. Its materials are the best, and the cost is tens of thousands of universe dollars. It was also refined by a famous master refiner. It's extremely powerful. It's definitely an honest magic treasure. With a slap, the blue-clothed young man sent the shop owner flying. Get lost. Are you trying to make me lose my temper by saying that I Wuxia have less foresight than a good-for-nothing like you? This. The shop owner was shocked and angry. He immediately wanted to fight back. Boss, don't act rashly. This person is the peerless demon Wuwudi. Yes, we can only endure. Do you want to bring disaster to Red Soil City? Endure for a moment, take a step back, and the world will be clear. But some of the soldiers shook their heads and secretly warned the shop owner that this person was a peerless demon. If he fought back, he would definitely die. It might even implicate the entire city. What? This kid is the peerless devil Wuwudi. Hearing this, the boss was so scared that he started sweating profusely. When he thought of Wuwudi's reputation as a peerless demon, he immediately stopped shouting. I think this artifact is worth at most 1 universe coin. 1 more universe coin would be too much. The blue-clothed youth said arrogantly. Yes, yes, yes. Sir is right. The shop owner was furious, but he did not dare to say anything. How about this? I'm not an unreasonable person. Since I've come to your shop, I'll help your business. Pack up all the magic treasures here for me. There's a total of 365 pieces, so I'll pay 365 universe credits. I'll help you round up the rest, so it'll be 300 universe credits. Don't thank me for taking care of your business. The man in blue waved his hand and ordered his subordinates to pounce forward. Like wolves and tigers, they began to pack up the goods in the shop. What? Hearing this, the shop owner's face turned green. There were so many treasures in this shop that were worth at least a few million universe credits. This bastard wanted to take them all away for only 300 universe credits. He even said that he was taking care of his business. If he came here every day, he would have gone bankrupt long ago. What would he earn then? Why? Looking at your expression, you seem very dissatisfied. Do you have a lot of opinions? The blue-clothed youth immediately emitted a terrifying aura that condensed into a substance. It was as if the sky was about to collapse. The surrounding onlookers did not even dare to breathe loudly. They felt as if their souls were carrying a mountain on their backs. It was so heavy that they could not move. If they moved even a little, they would face a disaster. No, no, no. I have no opinions. Feeling such an aura, the shop owner was scared half to death. He did not dare to say anything and treated it as a way to avoid disaster. The person in front of him was definitely a terrifying super demon. Once he was angry, it would be a bloodbath. Money was just an external object. One's life was more important. It's good that you don't have any opinions. If you do, you can speak out boldly. Take me, Wuwudi, for example. I only have one way to deal with people who dare to have opinions. That is to kill. Kill your entire family. The blue-clothed man was filled with killing intent. The surrounding people were so scared that they wet their pants. Even the shop owner almost fainted. Fortunately, he did not raise any opinions. Otherwise he would be finished. This guy is not simple. Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. He could sense that the blue-clothed youth's aura was not simple. It had reached the peak of the thunder tribulation. However, his hell golden crow eyes could see through his true cultivation level. At most he was at the golden core realm. However, this kid had cultivated a technique that could simulate auras. It had reached the acme of perfection. Therefore, not many people present could see through it. If they really fought, they would definitely be exposed. However, it was clear that this kid's move was enough to frighten a group of people. Coupled with the threat of Wuwudi's name, no one dared to act rashly. Moreover, this blue-clothed youth did not use plastic surgery to look like Wuwudi. Instead, he used a transformation technique to change himself into Wuwudi's appearance. It was extremely similar. Those who had not fought with Wuwudi before would not be able to tell the difference. Master, if I'm not wrong, this kid might be from the illusion race. This race is proficient in illusion techniques. They are good at changing into the appearance of the major races in the universe. They can achieve the level of passing off the fake as the real one. The green ox's voice sounded. And this race is also a famous race of swindlers. They often use their transformation techniques to become famous people and cheat large amounts of money. Not long ago, they also changed into the kings of some human countries or great human nobles. They impersonated their identities and enjoyed all the glory and wealth. They seized all the power and wealth and caused great harm. Therefore, this race has a very bad reputation in the universe. Almost everyone wants to beat them up. It can be said that they are a race of swindlers. No bank in the universe will accept their request for a credit card. It indicated that all the major races hated the illusion race to the extent that they would not rest until they were dead. Unfortunately, the illusion race's ability to escape was too strong. They could change into various major races, and were very difficult to exterminate. Until now, no one knew where the illusion race's nest was. Interesting. Xiaoping touched his chin. He suddenly became interested in this kid. A major race like this that cheated the entire universe must have accumulated a shocking amount of wealth. Chapter 2134. After robbing the magic treasure shop, the blue-robed young man swept through the shops along the way with his subordinates. Along the way, countless shops fell victim to him, and he forcibly bought a large number of treasures at the price of 1 yuan per item. Countless shop owners complained. They were shocked and angry, but no one dared to resist. Oh my God, is this the legendary Wu Wudi? He's indeed a sinful man. He's a natural villain. He dominates the market, oppresses men and women, and does all sorts of bad things. Someone shouted in grief and indignation. My elixir shop, I spent 10 million universe dollars to purchase goods from the outside world with great difficulty. I wanted to make a fortune, but now it's gone. It's all gone. This bastard bought it for 100 universe dollars. He's going too far. A fat shop owner lay on the ground, wanting to cry but having no tears. You've only lost 10 million universe credits. That's nothing. My magic treasure shop has a family heirloom that's worth at least 50 million universe credits. He actually forcefully bought it for only 100 universe credits. He's simply not human. Someone was furious. Damn it. Such an evil bastard. Why doesn't anyone take care of him? He's such a bastard. He's the kind of guy who bullies the weak and fears the strong. I haven't seen him touch the shops of those big powers, but he specializes in bullying small shops and was like unpredictable. No background. Several hours later, in a remote thunder tribulation realm powerhouse, have to rob these men, and the others had gathered there with looks of excitement. This immoral thing will be struck by lightning separated themselves from the surrounding crowd. Many shop owners cried and avoided everyone's gazes. They were furious. What do you think? But they did not dare to speak too loudly. The man in blue asked that their voices would be heard by Wu Wudi. Boss. If that happened, they would be in trouble. No one can follow us. He's too evil. That's no wonder he's the universe level cowardly fellows dare to follow the famous Wu Wudi. Aren't they afraid of being eaten? Would dare to act like a tyrant of the boss. Red Soil City. He actually thought of pretending to be Wu Wudi, said, and immediately scared those idiots out of their wits. He destroyed the 40 Thieves Alliance. They obediently handed over the treasures and pills. The problem is that he robbed the 40 Thieves Alliance of countless treasures. It feels like someone is giving us money. Why would he be interested in these small profits? If we do this a few more times, you don't have to worry for the rest of our lives. No matter how small a mosquito is, the group of subordinates were proud and excited. Who would complain about having too much money? They had such a feeling, as they didn't need money to buy things. Wu Wudi, and people were even fighting to give them realm expert. Shut up, you bunch of idiots. The
He doesn't care about his reputation at all.
Why are you speaking so loudly and fears
Are you
the
afraid
strong?
that people won't know
This
that we're
kind of
imposters?
demon is the most terrifying.
If people find out that
He
we're
has
from
no
the
bottom
illusion
line
race,
at all. Do you
the
think we can
surrounding
leave
people
this place
began
alive?
to discuss among
Yes,
themselves.
boss. Well,
They
shut
seem
up
to be
immediately.
even more afraid of
The group of
Wuxia.
subordinates
They describe
immediately shut up,
Wuxia as a
their
peerless
expression
devil
stern,
who liked to bully
it's
the
good
weak,
that you know how
but feared
powerful
the
we
strong.
are.
He
Seeing
killed
his
people
subordinates
like
like
flies
this and did
the
things
blue-clothed
according to
man
his
was very
whims.
satisfied. But there's no need to worry so much. Even if they have doubts now, they won't dare to act rashly in such a short period of time. After all, if I really am Wuwudi, then Red Soil City will definitely face disaster. Boss, what do we do now? Do we still go and earn more money? A subordinate asked. He felt that doing this kind of thing was addictive. It was simply picking up money. Earn my ass, the blue-clothed man said impatiently. The man in blue said angrily. Before anyone finds out, let's change into someone else's identity and run away quickly. Are we going to wait for others to find out who we are before running away? Greed kills. Don't you know this is a lesson for our race? Don't kill everyone. Got it, boss. The subordinates all nodded. They had been given a rude awakening. It's good that you understand. Later, we'll change into other people and immediately leave Red Soil City. Then, we'll go to another planet and continue our scams, the blue-clothed man said in a low voice. The blue-clothed man said in a deep voice. He felt that as long as he did a few such deals, he wouldn't have to worry about the resources for his cultivation. Want to run? Changing into my identity, maliciously deceiving me. And you want to run? Do you think it's that simple? Suddenly a voice came from the void. Then, a figure appeared in front of the blue-clothed man and the others. This person was Xiaoping. Damn it, there's an enemy. Run. The blue-clothed man's expression changed. Without another word, he immediately took out a red ball. With a boom, the entire street was instantly filled with red mist. This was a rare treasure, mist ball. Once it exploded, it would immediately form a red mist. This special mist could block vision, divine sense, and other powers. It would cause enemies to fall into a state of confusion and lose their sense of direction. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The blue-clothed man and the others were well trained. They immediately wanted to take this opportunity to run. Devour. Xiaoping grabbed with his hand. A terrifying devouring power appeared in his palm, forming a vortex. In an instant, the red mist on the entire street was completely devoured. Not a single drop was left. What? The blue-clothed man and the others were stunned. They had not expected this at all. Dizziness. The blue-clothed man was not stunned. He suddenly took out 2 blue stones the size of a fist. Sound stone. Xiaoping squinted his eyes. He immediately recognized that it was the famous sound stone. Clang. In an instant, the blue-clothed man fiercely used his hands to smash the 2 stones together. Immediately, a terrifying sound wave was produced. It almost condensed into a solid substance, causing ripples in the void to spread in all directions. It also caused dizziness. This sound wave contained the power to disturb the soul. If careless, even an almighty at the peak of the tribulation lightning would be stunned for a moment and faint on the spot. Unfortunately, it was of no use to Xiaoping. Dong! Xiaoping attacked with his palm. All the sound waves were shaken into a ball of powder, disappearing into nothingness. Boom! In the next second, the blue-clothed man and the others were instantly knocked out by the terrifying force. They were foaming at the mouth. Interesting. They actually have sound stones. The illusion race really has a big secret. Chapter 2135. In the space of the Pearl of Mountains and Rivers, Xiaoping had already dragged the man in blue and the others into the space of the Pearl of Mountains and Rivers. Not long after, the group slowly regained consciousness. What is this place? I'm not sure, but it's great that we're not dead. Who's dealing with us? Have our identities been exposed? The man in blue and the others were shocked. When they came to their senses, they instinctively looked at their surroundings and found that they seemed to have left Red Soil City. They had come to an unfamiliar place. They were surrounded by barren mountains, and there was no sign of human habitation. Then they felt a little relieved. They seemed to be safe and sound, and had not been beaten by the enemy. They were not even wearing shackles or other instruments of torture. This could be considered a blessing in disguise. You're finally awake. Xiaoping stood with his hands behind his back and looked at the man in blue and the others with a faint smile. Wuwudi. Hearing a voice, the man in blue and the others could not help but look over. But when they saw Xiaoping's appearance clearly, they were so scared that they almost peed their pants. Their faces were ashen. They never thought that they would meet the legendary peerless demon in this place. Suddenly, they were so scared that they sweated profusely and their legs trembled. They felt as if a catastrophe was imminent. This was like a fake Li Kuei meeting the real Li Kuei. There was nothing more unlucky than this. Even if they thought with their knees, they knew why the enemy attacked them. There was no doubt that the real Wu Wudi had found out about them working overtime and came to teach them a lesson. No, I'm not Wu Wudi. You are. Didn't you act very well in Red Soil City before? You even bullied the market and robbed the innocent people. Xiaoping said with a faint smile. His tone was very calm. With a bang, the man in blue and the others immediately knelt on the ground in fear. Although his tone was very calm, they could hear the horror in it. They were so scared that their bodies were trembling. An uncontrollable fear surged from their bodies. Wu Wudi was a person's name and a tree's shadow. They were so regretful now that their intestines turned green. Why did they pretend to be Wu Wudi? Wasn't this courting death? I'm sorry, Lord Wu. We were wrong. We were really wrong. Please spare our lives. We won't dare to use your identity to cheat you again. That's right. We'll hand over all the treasures we have. We won't keep anything for ourselves. All of them were scared half to death. They knelt on the ground and begged for mercy. They knew how terrifying Wu Wudi was. He was a true peerless demon who killed people like scything flax. He was not someone they could compare to. From the previous battle, it could be seen that no matter how hard they tried, they still couldn't escape from Wu Wudi's hands. How terrifying was his strength and methods. Even if Wu Wudi did not release any aura, they did not dare to act rashly. Shut up. I'm not in the mood to talk to you. Tell me your names and origins first. Don't lie in front of me. If I find out you're lying, you can go to hell. Xiaoping was filled with killing intent. The blue-robed man and the others were so frightened that they lost their heads. They didn't dare to lie, saying that they were from the illusion race and that they had been blinded by greed for a moment. That was why they had disguised themselves as Wu Wudi and came to Red Earth Planet to cheat. The blue-robed man's name was Barty. He was a noble disciple of the illusion race. The rest of his subordinates were ordinary members of the illusion race. All right, I roughly understand the situation now. Where exactly did you get these 2 sound vein stones? Xiaoping asked. I got them from the illusion race's treasury. If Lord Wu is willing, I'm willing to give them to you, the blue-robed man Barty said with a flattering expression. You're in my hands now. Do you think you can still keep them? Xiaoping said with disdain. Let me ask you, how many of these ores are there in the illusion race's treasury? There are quite a few. Wait, what do you want to do? All of a sudden, Barty became vigilant. He felt that it was definitely unusual for this infamous demon lord to suddenly ask about his own race's lair. He did not forget that this peerless demon had just destroyed the 40 Pirate Alliance and killed 5 immortal saints. Such a terrifying existence was actually thinking about the illusion race's nest. How could that be? I don't want to do anything. I just want to go on a tour of the illusion race's treasury and rob the rich to help the poor. Xiaoping very honestly stated his goal. He wanted to go to the illusion race to take advantage of them. Right, Where is the illusion race's nest? If you tell me, you can leave this place. Understand? Stop dreaming. Even if we die, we won't tell you. Barty and the others had a determined look on their faces. They looked like they were ready to die. It was completely different from the cowardly look they had before. It seemed like this was a matter of danger for their race, so they all became very brave. This had a lot to do with the fact that the illusion race was being chased by countless other races. If the members of the illusion race weren't united enough, their nest would have been found many times over. Not bad. You have some guts. But I don't need you to die. You will tell me. Xiaoping smiled. With a thought, a strong wave of gods will descended and instantly enveloped Barty and the others. With a boom, Barty and the others fell into the illusion and were unable to free themselves. Tell me, where is the illusion race's nest? Xiaoping asked. Yes, Lord Wu. Our race's nest is in a secret territory in the northeast of the southern universe. It's 100,000 light-years away from Red Soil Planet. Barty immediately told him everything he knew. Very good. You can all go to sleep. After getting the information he needed, Xiaoping waved his hand and immediately let Barty and the others fall into a deep sleep. They would probably not wake up for 7 or 8 days. The illusion race's nest has a lot of sound rune stones. I don't know where they got them, but no matter how they got them, I must get these sound rune stones. Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. He felt that it was time to go to the illusion race's nest. But before that, he needed to find the tree folk elder Richie. This was the main reason he came to Red Soil City. Whoosh! His figure flashed, and he once again returned to Red Soil City. At this time, the tree folk girl was waiting for Xiaoping on the other side of the street. When she saw Xiaoping appear, she immediately asked, Lord Xia, is it settled? Yes, it's settled. Where is the tree folk elder Richie? Xiaoping asked. I already know the specific location of Richie's grandfather. His elixir store is on a street in Red Soil City's South City. I've had just checked the map of Red Soil City and found the location of the tree folk elder Richie. All right, let's go. Chapter 2136. Ricky Pill Shop. This was an extremely famous pill shop in Red Earth City. Everyone knew that its owner was a powerful treant. His alchemy skills were also unfathomable. Many people liked to come to this pill shop to buy pills. At this moment, Xiaoping and Ruth finally arrived at the elixir store. Xiaoping looked around and discovered that the exterior of the elixir store was like a towering tree. Everywhere was lush and verdant. It was emerald green and emitted a boundless vitality. The entrance was a hole in the tree trunk that allowed customers to enter and exit. Grandpa Ricky. Ruth seemed to be very familiar with the place, as if she had been driving a light carriage for a long time. At this time, an old man came out of the house. He looked to be in his 70s or 80s. His skin was dry like old wood, and his hair was made of dead wood. He exuded an ancient aura. Circles of patterns appeared on his green skin. It seemed that the age of the trance could be represented by tree rings. One circle represented 1 year of age. However, this old man's tree rings were densely packed all over his body. Everyone knew that this old man was an antique that had lived for countless years. He was like a walking fossil. Ruth, why are you here? Where are your parents? This old man was the treant elder Ricky. He seemed to be very familiar with Ruth. He was very happy to see Ruth, but he was also puzzled that Ruth didn't have parents with her. They were attacked by pirates and turned into seeds. Ruth said, there is no other way. The universe is such a dangerous place. This is for the future of the trance. But who is this? Elder Ricky squinted his eyes and looked at Xiaoping, who was next to Ruth. He couldn't feel any aura from Xiaoping. It was as if Xiaoping was in a state of nothingness. If Elder Ricky's mental strength wasn't strong enough, he wouldn't have been able to detect this human's strength. But the more he thought about it, the more he felt that this young human wasn't simple. According to his countless years of experience, this young man's strength was extraordinary. Grandpa Ricky, this is Sir Xia. He signed a contract with Sir God. At this time, Ruth transmitted her divine sense. Her body emitted bursts of green light. This was the unique communication method of the trance. It was used to prevent secrets from being leaked.
What did you say? You found the Divine Master? How is that possible? Hearing this, Elder Ricky was given a big fright. Wait, your aura is completely different from before. It's vast and mighty. Could it be that you've received the Lord God's blessing? He could sense that Ruth's body contained a divine and great power. This source of power far surpassed that of the tree tribe's sacred tree. It contained information that encompassed the entire universe and was unfathomable. In a trance, he seemed to see a world tree that pierced through the universe. It was the ancestor of all plants, and every leaf contained rich vitality. Elder is right. I have indeed received the Lord God's blessing. Ruth was very excited. The heavens have eyes. The heavens have eyes. We have finally found Lord God Master. The holy tree is saved. The Trant race is saved. Elder Ricky was extremely excited. After hundreds of millions of years of searching, countless members of the Trant race had risked their lives and covered every corner of the universe. It was unknown how many members of their race had been sacrificed, but now, they had finally found hope. He wasn't even sure how excited he was right now. Thinking of this, Elder Ricky didn't hesitate anymore. He said to the customers who were still in the shop, "Customers, I'm really sorry. The shop will be closing early today." He ordered the customers to leave. This was because nothing could compare to the fact that the Lord God had been found. The customers in the shop didn't dare to say anything. After all, the Trant race's Elder Ricky's strength was rather terrifying in Red Soil City. He was also a famous alchemist. Not many people dared to offend him. Everyone left the elixir shop one after another. However, at this moment, a group of uninvited guests came outside. "Brother Ricky, what happened today? You're closing early? Can you tell me so that we can all have some fun together?" The person who spoke was an old man in blue. His cultivation had reached the peak of the lightning tribulation. The people around him were also very powerful. They were all at least at the transcendence realm. "Lu Zhengguang, I'm really sorry. I still have things to do. I'm afraid I can't receive you guys until later." Seeing the blue-clothed old man appear, Elder Ricky's eyes revealed fear. This was because he was an elder of the Lu family, the power behind Red Soil City. The Lu family was a sage family. They had the support of an immortal sage. Their strength was unfathomable. Normally, one shouldn't offend such a great force. However, since they had found the Lord God, it meant that his mission of many years was about to be completed. He couldn't care less. "Ricky, what is the meaning of this? What guest is so important that he doesn't even care about me, Lu Zhengguang? He even dares to slight me. He doesn't give the Lu family any face." Hearing this, Lu Zhengguang's expression darkened. "Is it this kid? Who is this brat? How dare he give you the courage to offend my Lu clan?" He immediately saw Xiaoping standing at the side. His eyes were like a venomous snake's. His body gave off a bone-piercing chill, making people shudder. "Lu Zhengguang, this is my guest. Don't mess around. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude." Seeing that Lu Zhengguang seemed to be targeting Xiaoping, Ricky's expression darkened. "Interesting. So what if I mess around? I want to see how you're going to be rude to me." Hearing this, Lu Zhengguang immediately laughed. "Kid, I don't know where you come from, but in Red Soil City and Red Soil Planet, there's no power that dares to act arrogantly before my Lu clan. Even a powerful dragon would have to lie low." Rumble. As soon as he finished speaking, an intense and cold spiritual attack pounced toward Xiaoping like a demon. It was so fast that ordinary people wouldn't be able to react. Dong. Xiaoping felt this powerful spiritual attack. However, to him, it was just a light breeze. It wasn't worth mentioning. What? This kid? Lu Zhengguang's eyes narrowed. He discovered that when his powerful spiritual attack landed on this kid, it was as if it had entered a swamp. All the spiritual waves disappeared completely. He could feel the ocean-like aura from Xiaoping's body. It encompassed everything. Clearly, this kid's strength was not simple. It was almost no weaker than his. Chapter 2137. Ricky. Thinking up to here, Lu Zhengguang stared at Elder Ricky. "I know that many major forces in Red Soil City, and even outside of it, are trying to recruit you to become their chief alchemist. However, without a doubt,
The Lu family of Red Soil City is a sage family with boundless power. We can definitely bring you great benefits, and even protect your Treant race. I don't know what conditions the other forces have offered you, but apart from the Lu family, no one else has better conditions than us. Think about it carefully, and don't make a mistake. He had previously negotiated with Ricky, hoping that Ricky could join the Lu family and become their guest elder. After all, this Treant race alchemist was extremely skilled in alchemy, far surpassing many human alchemists. If they could obtain such a guest elder, the Lu family's strength would definitely increase by a few levels. Unfortunately, they had discussed it many times, but Ricky had never agreed. Now the Lu family was getting impatient, and seemed to be planning to use some special methods. Elder Ricky's expression was very ugly. He didn't expect Lu Zhenguang to threaten him at this time. Clearly, if the negotiation failed, the other party was planning to use force. This was the Lu family's way of doing things. They were extremely domineering. If they couldn't obtain something, others wouldn't be allowed to obtain it. You're not very capable, but you sure talk big. Xiaoping stood out and glanced sideways. You attacked me just now and secretly injured someone. Don't you have any explanation? Explanation? What a joke. What explanation do you want? In Red Soil City, the Lu family is the law. If you don't like it, then die. Lu Zhenguang laughed loudly, as if he had heard the funniest joke in the world. He had been domineering in Red Soil City for too long, but he had never seen anyone who dared to be rude to him. Such a dispute immediately attracted the attention of countless people outside. Isn't that Lu Zhenguang, an elder of the Lu family? He has a violent temper and kills people like scything flax. He's actually here? That kid is crazy. He actually dares to offend Lu Zhenguang in a place like this? That's no different from offending the king of hell. Could it be that he dares to act so fearlessly because he's protected by the Treant race's almighty Ricky? What kind of joke is this? Although Ricky is powerful and is a lightning tribulation eminence, he is incomparable to the Lu family, a sage family. How can such a person protect him? Indeed, the Lu family has a large number of lightning tribulation realm experts. They are innumerable. Anyone who offends Lu Zhenguang will probably die in Red Earth City within 3 days. No one will be able to protect them. Everyone discussed and looked at Xiaoping in the shop with pity, as if they were looking at a dead man. The Lu family is so arrogant and domineering. Does no one care? Aren't you afraid of suffering a calamity? You should know that flowers don't bloom for 100 days, and people don't have a good life for 3 days. Who knows what will happen in the future? Did anyone teach you what it means to be low-key and humble? Xiaoping said lightly. Humble your sister. Who do you think you are? You actually dare to come and teach this old man a lesson? Who gave you such face? Hearing this, Lu Zhenguang was instantly enraged. He flew into a rage and slapped toward Xiaoping. This palm contained the power of a divine ability. It was silent and extremely fast. It was the Lu family's peerless divine ability, 6 extreme shadowless hands. Ordinary people wouldn't even be able to see the shadow of this palm. They wouldn't know what was going to happen before they were hit. Moreover, it contained an extremely powerful force that could instantly injure one's internal organs and destroy one's soul. Damn it, Lu Zhenguang, how dare you attack me here? Seeing Lu Zhenguang attack, Ricky's expression changed drastically. He absolutely wouldn't allow anything to happen to this human in front of him, because he had the Lord Divine Master's power. This matter concerned the life and death of the Treant race. Insignificant tricks. However, before Ricky could do anything, Xiaoping made his move. He lightly pointed with a finger. Dong! Immediately, the power of the 6 extreme shadowless hands was instantly pierced through by this finger. It exploded into a ball of dust and turned into origin energy, dissipating in all directions. All the runes were shattered into pieces. This power even penetrated the void and directly bombarded Lu Zhenguang. Lu Zhenguang didn't have any time to react at all. He immediately let out a shrill scream, and his entire body was sent flying. His body scraped across the ground and rolled over 10 times like a gourd. In the end, he slammed heavily into the wall outside. The wall was shattered into pieces, and there were cracks everywhere. At the same time, This power seeped into Lu Zhenguang's 5 viscera and 6 bowels. All of them were heavily injured, and even his bones were crushed. He coughed up a mouthful of blood, which splattered onto the ground. A look of terror appeared in the depths of his eyes. If this power had been just a little bit stronger, he would have died a violent death. Bastard, you actually dared to attack Elder Lu. You're simply too daring. You don't know what's good for you. Attack, kill this kid. The dozen or so subordinates of the Lu family were both shocked and furious. They didn't expect this kid to be so daring. He even dared to attack Elder Lu. He was too arrogant. They immediately rushed over and tried to capture Xia Ping. Boom. However, just as they took half a step forward, Xia Ping slapped out. These subordinates of the Lu family immediately let out shrill screams. They felt a terrifying power that they couldn't block, and they were sent flying like rubber balls. With a few thuds, they were sent flying out of the shop like a human pyramid. All of them were shaken to the point that they coughed up blood. They were seriously injured on the spot, and their strength was completely gone. No matter what their cultivation was, they were all shaken to the point that they were half dead. The people in the surroundings were scared half to death. Only now did they realize that this young man was also a fierce character. His strength was so tyrannical that it made people's hair stand on end. These elites of the Lu family were actually beaten like dead dogs. And they didn't even have the ability to resist. Especially that fiendish Lu Zhenguang. He was beaten very miserably, and he was in a half-dead state. Too strong. Elder Ricky of the Treant tribe was also shocked. Lu Zhenguang's strength was about the same as his, but he was beaten to such a state. Although he had felt that this young man's strength was unfathomable, he didn't expect him to be so strong. It was simply beyond his imagination. A bunch of trash dares to behave atrociously in front of me? Have you considered your own capabilities? Xia Ping stood with his hands behind his back, looking at Lu Zhenguang and the others with indifference. Retreat, hurry up and retreat. Kid, just you wait. My Lu family will not let you off. Lu Zhenguang and the others were scared half to death. Their guts were about to explode, and they didn't dare to stay where they were at all. They forcefully circulated a bit of their magic power and quickly ran out of this place. They were afraid that if they were a step slower, they would be killed by this fiendish god in front of them with a single slap. Chapter 2138. By this time, the people near Ricky's pill store had all run away, leaving only Xia Ping, Ricky, and Ruth. The passers-by were afraid that this matter would incur the wrath of the Lu family, so they did not dare to stay in this place. I didn't expect Lord Xia to be so powerful. He has not reached the sempiternal realm, but he can already defeat cultivators of the same realm. Truly extraordinary. Elder Ricky praised sincerely. He had lived for a long time, and had seen countless geniuses of various races and Lightning Tribulation Realm experts. However, Lightning Tribulation Realm experts of Xia Ping's strength were definitely rare. Even he could not compare to him. After all, he was not a combat-type race. He was only a support-type race, so he was naturally far inferior to Xia Ping in a one-on-one fight. It's nothing. They are just a bunch of ants. Xia Ping's expression was very calm, and he did not feel the slightest bit arrogant. But this way, we have completely offended the Lu family. We are in big trouble. Ricky shook his head and sighed. What's the big deal? We will deal with it when it comes, Xia Ping said calmly. Ricky said helplessly. If it's just someone like Lu Zhenguang, it is naturally not a big deal. However, I am afraid that the Lu family's old ancestor, Lu Xiong, is a sage. Moreover, that old thing is vengeful, calculative, and ruthless. If he knows about this, I am afraid that he will disregard his reputation and kill us. Ordinary sages might care about their reputation and would not easily attack mortals. However, the Lu family's old ancestor, Lu Xiong, was different. Once someone offended him, he would attack anyone. Because of this, everyone thought that Lu Xiong was a mad dog, and ordinary people did not dare to offend the Lu family. Over the years, who knew how many families have been destroyed by the Lu family because of this? Oh, how is Lu Xiong's strength? Has he reached the sage realm? Xia Ping asked, raising his brows. Of course not. After all, Lu Xiong has only reached the immortal sage level not long ago. It is only 300 million years. Without a fortuitous encounter, it is impossible for him to break through so quickly. Ricky was very familiar with the Lu family's old ancestor. Without reaching the sage realm, killing him is like killing a dog to me. Xiaoping's killing intent soared, his eyes revealing a cruel light. In Hell World, when he was in the 40 Great Bandits Alliance, he had killed many undying saints. If they were near ancient saints, he might not be able to do so. However, he was merely an undying sage. Killing him would be as easy as killing a dog. Sensing Xiaoping's undisguised killing intent, Ricky's heart jumped in fright. This human seemed to be a peerless monster, the kind that killed people like scything flax. Moreover, even if the other party was not a near-ancient saint, he was still an undying saint, a terrifying existence with an undying body. It was impossible to match a Thunder Retribution Realm powerhouse, but this Xiaoping actually dared to say such words. Killing him was like killing a dog. Was it that exaggerated? He almost thought that this kid was talking nonsense. However, after thinking about it carefully, the other party was a terrifying existence that had signed a contract with the Lord Divine Master. If he could borrow the Lord Divine Master's power, he might be able to fight. Lord Xia, don't be anxious. Don't fight in a place like Red Saturn. This place is a balanced place for many forces in the Southern Universe, and many sages are watching it. If a battle happens here, many sages will definitely spy on it. When the time comes, we don't know what will happen, and others might even reap the benefits. Ricky advised, why don't we leave Red Saturn first, far away from this star field, and go to a remote place? This way, there won't be any interference from other sages when dealing with Lu Xiong. That's not impossible. But are you sure that Lu Xiong won't lose his mind and attack us in public? If that happens, don't blame me for being impolite, Xiaoping said with a murderous aura. Of course he won't dare to attack us. He has already signed a sage's covenant. If he dares to attack us on Red Saturn, he will immediately be attacked by everyone. At that time he will die very miserably. He doesn't dare to violate the covenant, but once he leaves Red Saturn, he will be unscrupulous, Icky said in a deep voice. All right, pack your things. We'll leave Red Saturn soon. Xiaoping nodded. At this time, a group of people from the Lu family returned to the Lu family in fear. Lu Zhenguang, on the other hand, took some healing pills, and immediately went back to complain to the Patriarch Lu Xiong. Patriarch, you have to stand up for me, Lu Zhenguang said with tears and snot. I listened to your order just now, and went to recruit the Treant tribe's elder Ricky, hoping that he would join the Lu family and work for us. He would refine pills honestly, and there would be many benefits. But I didn't expect that old thing to hook up with a bitch. That bitch actually attacked without saying anything. I was careless and was seriously injured by him. Even the dozen elites of the Lu family that I brought over were beaten up like dead dogs. It was a tragic sight. If I don't take revenge and tear that bitch into pieces, where would the Lu family's face be? He screamed at the top of his lungs, looking extremely miserable. Shut up, what a bunch of trash. When Lu Xiong heard this, he shouted angrily. I asked you to do such a small thing, but you can't even do it properly. Do you know that the Treant tribe's Ricky is very important to my plan? I need him to help me refine a sage-level pill. Once this pill is refined and consumed, I will have a 30% chance of advancing to a near-ancient sage. My strength will soar, and I will immediately become an overlord of the Southern Universe. When that time comes, what benefits will there be? Now you're telling me that you can't recruit him, and that he was snatched away by someone else? What's the use of trash like you? You might as well throw all of you into the sea to feed the fish, lest you continue to embarrass yourselves here. His anger exploded, and it was as if the sky was falling and the earth was cracking. The surrounding void trembled. Patriarch, spare me, Patriarch. Lu Zhenguang and the others were scared half to death. Their faces were ashen as they knelt on the ground and begged for mercy. Enough, don't make such an embarrassing gesture. Lu Xiong snorted coldly. But that old thing refused a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. He dared to disrespect me. This is a crime of great disrespect. He really deserves to die. And that unknown bastard actually wanted to ruin this old man's plan. He also deserves to die. That's right, Patriarch. I suggest that we take action immediately and capture those two bitches. Let them suffer and live a life worse than death. Lu Zhengguang gritted his teeth. No. I signed the sage's covenant and swore that I can't take action here unless a sage attacks. Lu Xiong said in a deep voice. Anyway, keep an eye on Ricky and the others. If they dare to leave Red Earth planet, I will personally capture them. If they don't leave, use the Lu family's power and go all out. Yes, Patriarch. Chapter 2139. Whoosh. 2 hours later, Ricky and Ruth, who had packed their things, left Red Soil City with Xiaoping. They then boarded the Stars and quickly left Red Soil City. The people of the Lu family who were monitoring nearby naturally saw this scene and immediately went back to report the news. The Stars were extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, they quickly left Red Soil City and headed for the boundless star region in the distance. They were surrounded by stars that stretched as far as the eye could see. I heard from Ruth that you're the only one who can find the current location of the tree world. Have you found it now? Xiaoping asked. He knew that the key to going to the tree world was Ricky. Indeed, I'm proficient in a secret technique that allows me to communicate with the holy tree and know the spatial location of the holy tree. Ricky said in a deep voice. However, the tree world seems to be too far away from where we are now. I need to calm down for a few days, bathe and change my clothes, and eliminate all distracting thoughts. Only then can I communicate with the power of the holy tree and know the location of the tree world. He said that it would take at least a few days to find the tree world that was drifting around in the universe. Alright, well, the enemy is here. Xiaoping nodded. He immediately sensed a strong malice coming from the depths of the void in the distance. Boom! In an instant, a terrifying energy storm gushed out from the depths of the void, sweeping everything. One after another, restrictive formations sealed the void and immediately surrounded the stars. At the same time, the surrounding void was completely sealed. It was impossible to escape even if one wanted to travel through space. With a thud, an old man in a gray robe walked out from the depths of the void empty-handed. This person was Lu Xiong, the patriarch of the Lu family. When he appeared in this place, a terrifying aura suddenly erupted, blotting out the sky and covering the earth. He seemed to have the disposition of a peerless hero, causing the surrounding space to creak. To be honest, Lu Xiong did not have any background, nor did he join the Holy Land of Taichu or the Palace of Darkness. It was not because he was a celestial being. He was able to achieve what he had today purely because he was sinister, cunning, and ruthless. He did not let go of any opportunities, plundering resources along the way, burning, killing, and pillaging, which allowed him to grow to his current level. It was conceivable that such a powerhouse had experienced countless battles. He was extremely experienced and was definitely not an ordinary person. Damn it, Lu Xiong is here. Ricky's expression was very ugly. Although he knew that Lu Xiong would not let them go, he did not expect Lu Xiong to arrive so quickly. He had only left Red Saturn not long ago, but he had already caught up. Ricky, you actually dared to reject my Lu Xiong's recruitment time and time again. You are really audacious. Do you know how many people dream of becoming my Lu Xiong's subordinate? But you don't know how to appreciate my kindness. Lu Xiong sneered. If it weren't for the fact that I thought you were a promising and useful person, I would have killed you more than a dozen times. How could I let you live until today? But now you dare to collude with other forces and run away with a person who humiliated my Lu family. This has violated my taboo. Have you thought about how to face my anger? He stood with his hands clasped behind his back, looking as if he had Xia Ping and Ricky in the bag. Lu Xiong, right? You are so arrogant. Do you think you can defeat me? Xia Ping raised his eyebrows. A mortal in the Thunder Retribution realm dares to speak to me so loudly? Are you relying on the protection of this Saint-class spaceship to think that I can't kill you? What a joke. Lu Xiong's eyes were very sharp. He could see the miraculous thing about the outstanding star at a glance. It was a Saint-class spaceship with extremely strong defense. He thought that the reason why the kid in front of him was so arrogant and not afraid of his threat was because of this spaceship. If it wasn't for the protection of this spaceship, he would have killed the kid with a slap when he appeared just now. He would have captured all the 7 souls and 6 spirits in his body and refined them into magic treasures so that they would never be able to reincarnate. To tell you the truth, don't think of running away this time. This spaceship is useless. Lu Xiong sneered. I spent hundreds of thousands of years and accumulated countless cosmic-level ores. After millions of years, I refined a powerful low-grade sacred artifact, Dark Heavenly Fiend Net. It can seal the void and everything. Even if you want to travel through the void to escape, it's impossible. It can completely trap you in the big net, like a turtle in a jar. Of course, you can also make the spaceship self-destruct, but it will at most destroy this low-grade sacred artifact. I will be unscathed. You are dead this time. Boom! As soon as he finished speaking, Lu Xiong waved his hand and shot out a big dark net. It was filled with a terrifying dark evil aura and seemed to communicate with countless blood dimensions, condensing countless vengeful spirits. The moment it appeared, it immediately merged into the dark void. Ripples appeared in the surrounding space, and the big net covered a radius of 10 million kilometers tightly. Xia Ping raised his brows. He sensed that the big dark net was indeed extraordinary. Lines were imprinted in the void and merged with each other, forming an absolute space. If the spaceship tried to rush over, it would immediately be cut into pieces by the countless lines inside the big net. It was indeed an inescapable net, and there was no corner to escape from. Interesting, but you want to catch a turtle in a jar. I don't think you know who the turtle is. With a swoosh, Xia Ping's figure flashed and left the myriad stars. He appeared in outer space and faced Lu Xiong from afar. What? You're just a mere mortal. How dare you leave the protection of a Saint-class spaceship? Do you think you can fight me with your own strength? Aren't you a little too arrogant? Seeing Xia Ping's actions, Lu Xiong was enraged, feeling that he had been greatly humiliated. It was one thing for a mere mortal to not dare to move in his turtle shell and kneel down to beg for mercy. But now, he even dared to jump out of his turtle shell and face him single-handedly. Such actions were simply insolent to the extreme. He was not giving any respect to an immortal saint like him at all. Crazy, he's completely crazy. Ricky was dumbfounded. He had not expected Xia Ping to do something like this. A mere lightning tribulation realm cultivator dared to fight an undying saint alone? Wasn't that just courting death? He had never seen such a stupid human before. Did he think that his life was too long? Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Lu Xiong bellowed. Mystical ability, myriad demon mystic in fist. In an instant he punched out. Strong winds howled and ghosts and gods cried. Endless demonic chi gathered in the depths of the void, forming thousands of terrifying demons. These demons were formless and existed between the void and the real. They gathered the power of extreme in the world and were extremely cold, as if they could freeze everything. Moreover, they were extremely ferocious, as if they were demons that had crawled out from the abyss. Chapter 2140. Child's Play. Xiaoping didn't even look, and just tapped lightly. At that moment, with his body as the center, ripples appeared in the surrounding space, and spread out in all directions. It was like a comet hitting Earth, or a star exploding. Immediately, within a radius of 10 million kilometers, terrifying destructive power and shaking power were produced. Dong! With just one shake, thousands of demons were turned into dust. Even the surrounding demonic energy was destroyed. It was like the space had been pierced, and all the demonic energy was purified. This tyrannical force even broke through everything, and directly bombarded Lu Xiong's body. In an instant, he was sent flying and smashed into an uninhabited planet in the distance. The explosion of this strong force almost caused the entire uninhabited planet to break into pieces. Impossible. Lu Xiong's expression was extremely ugly, and he couldn't believe it. Just one finger, and you broke my 1,000-demon Mysticine fist. What kind of power is this? Are you really a lightning trial realm mortal? He couldn't imagine such a thing happening. In his eyes, this kid was just a lightning trial realm mortal. To him, he was just a slightly bigger ant, and he could kill him with a wave of his hand. But now, with just one finger, Lin Fan broke his 1,000-demon Mysticine fist and destroyed all his skills. This nearly drove him crazy, and he wasn't willing to accept such a fact. Impossible? Nothing is impossible. With your strength, killing you is like killing a dog. Xiaoping stepped forward and a strong aura rose, shaking the space and making buzzing sounds. It was like an ancient god of the underworld had walked out from the depths of hell and suppressed everything. Damn it, dark heaven net gather. Lu Xiong immediately felt a terrifying aura from Xiaoping. It was a fatal threat to him, as if he let his guard down, he would be killed immediately. But he was an immortal saint and had an immortal body. He wasn't someone a lightning trial realm mortal could compare to. Now he actually made him feel such a huge threat. This was unbelievable. But he wouldn't ignore such a premonition. In the blink of an eye, he circulated the magic power in his body, and immediately activated the low-grade saint artifact, the dark heavenly net. Immediately, the huge net in the depths of the void retracted madly from all directions. Tens of thousands of lines were compressed like countless blades, containing terrifying cutting power. Once they were gathered, even an undying saint would be sliced into countless pieces. Still trying to struggle? Kill him. With a loud bang, Xiaoping took out the Hell Spear and blasted it towards Lu Xiong. Hell-suppressing demon spear's second move, Slaughter. In an instant, a terrifying dark light shot out, containing the ultimate power of hell. Countless hell runes interweave together, forming a terrifying killing power and sharpness. Ricky, who was watching the battle from afar, was overwhelmed with shock. He could feel that this dark light was like the scythe of the god of hell, reaping the lives and souls of countless creatures. It was impossible to resist, and it contained incomparable power. Dong dong dong. With just a single spear, the net that was bombarding from all directions was immediately torn apart like tofu. The entire dark net was sliced into pieces. Woo woo. The dark heavenly net gave off a sad cry. It was heavily injured, and its artifact spirit was injured. It returned to its original form, and quickly flew back into Lu Xiong's hand, suffering irreparable damage. Bastard, you actually dare to damage my treasure. I want you dead. Seeing the low-grade saint artifact that he had spent countless years and resources to craft, the dark heavenly net, damaged like this. Who knew how much money it would take to repair it back to its peak state? Lu Xiong was instantly enraged. With a boom, he grabbed with his hand and took out the second low-grade saint artifact, the lightning hammer. It was a purple hammer that was as big as a small mountain. There were dense purple lightning runes carved on it, as if it contained dense lightning essence. He held the lightning hammer, and looked like a thunder god that walked out from the depths of chaos. Dense lightning wrapped around his body, and large amounts of lightning energy surged out from his body. Die, bastard! Lu Xiong roared in rage. He held the lightning hammer and smashed it towards Xiaoping. He used almost all of his strength,
This was the full-powered attack of an immortal saint, and it was world-shaking. Instantly, the space around Xiaoping was like glass that was being smashed. There were crackling sounds, and it was immediately smashed into pieces. All the planets, asteroids, and other materials within a range of 1 billion kilometers were smashed into powder. Within 1 billion kilometers, billions of lightning bolts exploded at the same time. They were like spears, sharp swords, and other weapons. They clashed and killed each other, making clanging sounds. This area was filled with the terrifying power of destruction. Anything that was hit by this hammer would be shattered into pieces, or even crushed into pieces. This was the power of the lightning hammer. It contained the intent of destroying the world. Lu Xiong had once used this treasure to destroy small worlds one after another. Countless planets would be smashed into cosmic debris by this hammer. After hundreds of millions of years of refinement by Lu Xiong, this treasure was already infinitely close to a mid-grade saint artifact. It had reached the level of being one with the weapon, and its power was more than 10 times stronger than normal saint artifacts. Now that Lu Xiong used his full strength in his rage, even immortal saints of the same level would have to retreat. Otherwise, their souls would be smashed to pieces. However, Xiaoping was not afraid at all. Lu Xiong was indeed strong among the immortal saints of the human race. However, compared to immortal-level demons and abyssal demons, there was still a certain gap. Even those terrifying immortal fiends and demons had been personally killed by Xiaoping. A mere Lu Xiong was nothing. Hell Demon Suppression Spear Third Form, Creation. Xiaoping held the Hell Spear and lightly slashed at the air. Like a dragon, his brush drew out countless spatial trajectories. Countless hell runes surged out. Immediately, one hell world after another was created. It was as if the projection of hell was summoned. The power of countless hell demons was unleashed, shaking the world. Clang! Lu Xiong's lightning hammer's power bombarded these hell worlds. Immediately, it was like bombarding steel. Dazzling sparks and clanging sounds erupted. However, these hell worlds were undamaged. Countless lightning powers bombarded them, but they could not harm these hell worlds at all. Instead, they were devoured cleanly. Impossible, I don't believe it. My lightning hammer can't break through your sacred art. What kind of monster are you? Lu Xiong broke down and screamed. With the lightning hammer in hand, his battle power was invincible. Even immortal saints of the same level were not his match. But now, it had been easily blocked, and the enemy was just a mortal in the Thunder Retribution realm. This was simply impossible. Chapter 2141. Monster? You just don't know much. Xiaoping stood in the air, holding the Spear of Hell. Worlds of hell appeared around him one after another. It was as if he was creating countless planes of hell. He was like the god of hell that ruled over countless planes of hell and controlled the fate of all living beings. From deep in the air, a huge amount of hell's power surged out, forming countless hell's runes. They turned into terrifying hell's sharpness and shot towards Lu Xiong. Lu Xiong was caught off guard. His entire body was crushed by the hell's world and slammed into him. He was severely injured and couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood. The terrifying hell's power even seeped into his organs and soul. Vaguely, he felt like his soul was being devoured by countless demons of hell. They were going to pull him into the hell's world and into the depths of hell. Not good. What kind of power is this? What kind of demonic technique is this? Why is it so terrifying? I have to run. Lu Xiong was scared half to death. At this moment, he truly felt the danger of death. If he didn't run, he would really be killed by this puny trial realm mortal. At the thought of this, he was extremely frustrated and felt endless humiliation. He was an undying saint with an undying life that far surpassed mortals. He was supposed to be in control of everything. But now, he was being beaten up by a puny mortal and could only run. This was extremely humiliating. If news of this got out, he would immediately become the laughingstock of the entire universe. But he was an ambitious person and knew what it meant to be flexible. Technique: Shadow Shapeless Escape. This was the escape technique that Lu Xiong was famous for. Once he used it, he would immediately turn into a shadow. He would be invisible and blend into the void,
moving faster than the speed of light. With this technique, he had escaped death countless times. Because of this, he was able to obtain countless treasures and grow into the undying saint he was today. Whoosh! In an instant, Lu Xiong mobilized all the power in his body. His silhouette flashed, and he immediately turned into a shadow, blending into the void, wanting to escape just like that. Still want to run? Xiaoping's eyes flashed with coldness. Holding the spear of hell, he stabbed towards Lu Xiong. Hell demon suppressing spear, fourth technique, destruction. Suddenly, a terrifying black light erupted from the depths of the hell spear. Countless strands of hell energy intertwined with each other, swirling and twisting. This beam of light simply surpassed the speed of light. It penetrated the void and almost instantaneously arrived beside Lu Xiong. Ah! Lu Xiong immediately let out a shrill scream. His body, which had turned into a shadow, was immediately hit. His whole body fell from the depths of the void, and a large amount of blood was thrown out. A powerful wave of hell energy seeped into his soul like maggots. The aura of countless hell fiends seemed to want to devour his soul. With just one spear, he was heavily injured on the spot. All the cells in his body were destroyed. I can't accept this, I can't accept this. How could a mere mortal grasp such terrifying power? This is impossible, it must be an illusion. I want to kill you. I want to turn defeat into victory. Lu Xiong roared angrily and tried to struggle. Immediately, the blood and muscle tissues squirmed and turned into a dozen or so streams. He seemed to want to turn into a dozen or so shadows and flee in all directions. As long as a part of him managed to escape, he would be able to survive. After all, he was an undying saint. Giving up a part of his body was nothing. Win my ass. You still want to escape in front of me? Stay here and die. Xiaoping punched out. With a boom, the void trembled. A terrifying tremor occurred within a radius of billions of kilometers. Countless planets had terrifying cracks. The surrounding void solidified and was completely locked down. The dozen or so shadows nearby tried to rush out, but it was as if they had collided with an iron wall. With a few bangs, Lu Xiong's dozen or so shadows were sent flying back, causing him to feel dizzy. Then he returned to his original body. He lay in the void like a dead fish, panting and sweating profusely. Impossible, a mere mortal wants to kill me? You must be dreaming. Even if I die, I will drag you down with me. Let's die together. Lu Xiong's expression was incomparably hideous. He was extremely terrified. He felt that his soul had been hit by the spear and then by a vicious punch. It was rapidly disintegrating. Even the undying body could not save him. He felt that he was about to die. Even if he escaped now, he would not be able to avoid death. The power of the spear was too terrifying. It could destroy undying matter. However, the closer he was to death, the crazier he became. His hatred for Xiaoping surged. If not for this bastard, he would not have ended up like this. In an instant, a terrifying destructive power rose from the depths of his body, and the two low-grade saint artifacts. It was as if a star was about to explode, giving off endless light. Without a doubt, Lu Xiong wanted to self-destruct and die together with Xiaoping. Be careful, master. This guy wants to self-destruct. In the space of the mountain river Pearl, the green ox sensed this and immediately warned. He was very anxious. This was because it was simply unimaginable how terrifying the self-destruction of an undying saint would be. Within a radius of billions of kilometers, all living beings would be wiped out. All the planets would be destroyed. Even if an undying saint was hit by this, he would be heavily injured. He would not be able to recover even after countless years. Moreover, Xiaoping was not an undying saint yet. After being hit by Lu Xiong and the explosion of the two low-grade saint artifacts, he would be heavily injured even with blood rebirth. He would not be able to recover in a short period of time. You want to drag me down with you? Who do you think you are? Die. But how could Xiaoping let him do that? His eyes flashed with a frightening coldness. The spiritual power of the 9 purple kingdoms started to vibrate. The ocean churned and waves surged. He channeled all of his spiritual power into the golden crow of hell. The golden crow of hell in his body boiled and burned. A wave of power was born from the depths of his body and transmitted over. Swish! Immediately, he threw the hell spear in his hand. A black beam of light appeared in the depths of the void. It was so fast that even divine senses could not detect it. It streaked across the void and stabbed into Lu Xiong's body. This. Lu Xiong was dumbfounded. He wanted to self-destruct, but before he succeeded, his body was pierced by the hell spear. A destructive power exploded in his body. With a boom, his body exploded into pieces. The terrifying power of hell exploded in the depths of his primordial spirit, tearing his soul into pieces. Chapter 2142. No way, Lu Xiong is dead? He died just like that. In the distance, Treant Elder Richie was in disbelief. If he had not seen it with his own eyes, he would not have believed that Xia Ping could kill an immortal saint so easily. What kind of person is Lu Xiong? He was an immortal saint from countless light years away. He was the ancestor of the Lu family, a peerless hero, who had lived for hundreds of millions of years. Such a person must have gone through countless battles and life-threatening situations. Furthermore, he had an immortal body. How could he be killed so easily? Furthermore, Xia Ping was only immortal in the late-stage Thunder Calamity realm. Although he was only one major realm away from the immortal realm, the difference was like heaven and earth. It was the difference between a mortal and a saint. Generally speaking, an immortal saint could kill a group of Thunder Calamity realm cultivators with a wave of his hand. However, the human before him had killed an immortal saint like Lu Xiong with his own hands. He did not even use the power of the world tree. It was unbelievable. Even as an elder of the Treant tribe, who had lived for more than 1,000,000 years and had seen countless heroes and geniuses of various races, he could not believe what he was seeing. This was a Thunder Calamity killing an immortal. How ridiculous was that? If news of this were to spread, it would definitely shock the entire universe and make countless saints tremble. Very well, these treasures are all mine. With a grasping motion, Xia Ping immediately collected the 2 low-grade sacred artifacts left behind by Lu Xiong, the Divine Darkness Fiend, and the Lightning Extermination Hammer. Although he had a lot of magic treasures on him, sacred artifacts were still very valuable. Moreover, it did not take too much effort to collect the 2 sacred tools. First of all, they were beaten to death by Xia Ping. Second, Lu Xiong almost blew himself up just now, which also consumed the origin of the 2 low-grade sacred tools, causing their vitality to be greatly damaged. Most importantly, the 2 sacred weapons had already witnessed Xia Ping's strength and were already willing to submit to him. They did not have much of a problem with acknowledging Xia Ping as their master. Apart from the 2 inferior-grade sacred weapons, Lu Xiong also had a spatial treasure that contained many treasures. They were all Lu Xiong's collection over the years, including a large number of spirit Y, pill Y, and minerals. They were all priceless. Unfortunately, Lu Xiong was not an abyss demon and could not become fertilizer for the world tree. Otherwise, he would have captured him long ago and made him suffer a fate worse than death. Well, is there a little mouse next to it? Forget it. Let's go lest a long night brings trouble. Xia Ping narrowed his eyes. He could sense a powerful aura hiding in the depths of the void, as if it could launch a sneak attack at any time. The masters of these auras were no weaker than Lu Xiong. Many times, those hidden enemies tried to launch sneak attacks, but they couldn't find any flaws, because Xia Ping was always vigilant, not giving them any chance. These rats probably sensed the battle between him and Lu Xiong, so they quietly came over, trying to take advantage of him. Unfortunately, he did not give these enemies too many chances. With that thought, Xia Ping returned to the stars in a flash and left quickly. From the moment Xia Ping left the battlefield until the stars left the star field, the enemies hidden in the dark cosmos did not choose to launch a sneak attack. Clearly, they were extremely afraid of Xia Ping's strength. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Not long after Xia Ping left, 2 or 3 figures appeared in the depths of the void, emitting the aura of an immortal sage. They looked in the direction Xia Ping left with a solemn expression. I didn't expect that cunning Lu Xiong would still die, and he died in the hands of a lightning tribulation realm mortal. Who would believe this? Lightning tribulation killing an immortal is simply a fantasy. If I didn't see it with my own eyes, I would have thought I was crazy. A green-robed old man sighed. Isn't that so? I wanted to launch a sneak attack many times, but I forced myself to stop. My sixth sense warned me that if I really dared to attack, I would definitely die. Now it seems like I stopped. Look at that kid. He has long discovered our position, and is always vigilant. Another black-robed old man said in a relieved tone. Fortunately, he was cautious and did not launch a sneak attack, or he might have followed in Lu Xiong's footsteps. What a terrifying young man. When did such a terrifying young genius appear in the universe? He can kill an immortal at the lightning tribulation realm. If he can really become an immortal, won't he be heaven-defying? It's really like the back pushing the front. A blue-robed old man sighed. He felt that he was really getting old. He actually could not compare to such a young man. If I'm not wrong, this young man should be the recently famous wanted criminal Wu Wudi. The green-robed old man said his guess. I see. It's actually that Wu Wudi. The black-robed old man's eyes lit up. No wonder I felt that kid did not use his full strength, and even purposely showed flaws during the battle to lure me into a trap. Now it seems like I was right. I heard that he has an immortal Gaia protecting him. If we had rashly attacked, we would definitely have been suppressed by immortal Gaia. Then we would have died without a whole corpse. He sounded very relieved. Fortunately, he was cautious and did not attack. After living for so long, even as an immortal sage, he knew what was called caution. It was never wrong to be careful. Forget it. This is also the fault of that idiot Lu Xiong. If he did not provoke Wu Wudi for no reason and bully others, he would not have ended up like this. He deserved it. The green-robed old man quickly extricated himself from this matter and said, Moreover, Lu Xiong is dead. This starfield's power distribution needs to be changed. Also, the Lu family has obtained countless benefits over the years. It's time to spit them out. The Lu family could be so domineering in this starfield because of Lu Xiong's power. As the saying went, success was due to Lu Xiong, and failure was also due to Lu Xiong. If Lu Xiong was still alive, then no one would dare to touch the Lu family. But now that Lu Xiong was dead, the Lu family was completely finished. No one could protect them. Naturally, with Lu Xiong dead, there is naturally no need for the Lu family to exist. Let's split the Lu family into 3 parts. Each of our 3 families will get a share. Sure, I agree with this method. The immortal sage's expression was indifferent. Soon, the Lu family's fate was decided. This was the cruelty of the universe. Without the backing of a powerful person, without enough power, no matter how much wealth one had, it was impossible to protect it. It was just an illusion. Chapter 2143. A few days later. 1 second to remember. There was no pop-up window to read for free. Xia Ping had been refining and repairing the 2 inferior-grade sacred weapons that he had obtained from Lu Xiong, the Thunder Extermination Hammer, and the Darkness Heavenly Fiend. Today, he had finally refined the 2 sacred weapons completely and mastered them thoroughly, reaching the realm of being one with the weapons. Whoosh! Immediately, he sensed that the 2 inferior-grade sacred weapons had given him a huge source of power in the depths of his body, which had greatly improved the magic power of the 9 purple mansions in his body. During this period of time, he had not only refined the 2 inferior-grade sacred weapons, but he had also used 2 or 3 immortal fruits. Immediately, Xia Ping's magic power had increased by leaps and bounds, saving him tens of thousands of years of effort in condensing his magic power. It had to be said that the energy contained in the immortal fruits was too huge and extraordinary. If an ordinary person had used 3 immortal fruits, their body would have exploded from the energy. However, Yishuan was different. 3 immortal fruits could only be regarded as a beneficial supplement. Even so, it had saved him a lot of effort in condensing his magic power. It could be regarded as a great benefit. He felt that he was getting closer and closer to the peak of the Thunder Calamity realm. Vaguely, it seemed that he would soon touch the border of the Sea of Sufferings. In the depths of the void, there was also an increasingly powerful Thunder Calamity energy brewing. It was as if he was sitting on pins and needles. As expected of an inferior-grade sacred weapon, it really has endless magic power. Xiaoping was very satisfied to see that he had obtained 2 inferior-grade sacred weapons, the Thunder Destruction Hammer and the Darkness Sky Disaster. Although their power was not comparable to Hell treasures like the Hell Spear, they were still relatively powerful treasures. For example, the Thunder Destruction Hammer could control the energy of the Thunder Calamity, which could exert the power of the Chaos Thunder technique in Xiaoping's body by more than 10 times. With a swing of the hammer, it was like a world-ending thunder. Ordinary enemies would probably be killed with a swing of the hammer. They would not be able to withstand it at all. And the Darkness Sky Disaster was also a good support treasure. Once it was used, it could immediately ambush the enemy and completely trap the enemy in it, leaving them with nowhere to hide. Under certain special circumstances, it could play a huge role. The H-Gold slime seems to have evolved successfully. All of a sudden, Xiaoping opened his eyes. With a thought, he immediately sensed that the H-Gold slime, which had been in the process of evolving, had undergone a huge change. With a swoosh, his figure flashed, and he immediately flew to the place where the H-Gold slime had gone into seclusion to evolve. It was in a valley, and there were no signs of human habitation within a radius of 10 million kilometers. After devouring the Mother Earth stone, the H-Gold slime, which was originally in the form of a T-ball, seemed to have countless mysterious runes and law lines surging out of its body. Its body emanated a rich, unfathomable aura of the essence of the earth, as if it had communicated with the essence of the earth and become a part of it. However, at that moment, the sky suddenly split open. The space of the mountain river Pearl directly connected to the void of the universe, and a huge spatial crack appeared, tearing the world apart. It was thousands of kilometers long. Crash! A massive vortex that was thousands of kilometers wide appeared in the sky, and dense disaster power brewed. It was golden and gave off a metallic aura, as terrifying lightning energy gathered. What's going on? Was this a lightning tribulation? It's not my lightning tribulation, but Little Gold's lightning tribulation. Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. He immediately sensed that this lightning tribulation was not aimed at him, but at the H-Gold slime. It appeared when the H-Gold slime was about to advance. Master, don't worry. This is a magic treasure tribulation. It's a tribulation that all spiritual treasures have to go through when they are about to advance to a holy artifact. This time, the H-Gold slime has to go through the Golden Gung Thunder. At that moment, Greenox appeared and explained to Xiaoping. The H-Gold slime is finally going to advance to a holy artifact. That's great. Corinne also came to this place and was extremely excited. This is the magic treasure tribulation, the tribulation to advance to a holy artifact. Hearing these words, Xiaoping immediately understood. Not only did humans have to go through a tribulation to transcend mortality and enter holiness, but magic treasures also had to go through a tribulation to advance to a holy artifact. Only after going through this tribulation, and being baptized by the heavenly tribulation, and absorbing the power of the laws of heaven and earth, could it truly become an extremely powerful holy artifact. Little Gold should be fine, right? Xiaoping asked with a little worry. It doesn't matter. The H-Gold slime's accumulation is extremely deep. It has also swallowed the Mother Earth stone, a rare treasure of heaven and earth. Going through this heavenly tribulation will be as easy as flipping its hand. Corinne indicated that this was not a big problem. However, we can't get too close. We must maintain a certain distance. Otherwise, not only will we be affected, but it may also cause the power of the heavenly tribulation to increase, causing the H-Gold slime to suffer an even greater tribulation. Greenox said in a deep voice. All right, Xiaoping nodded. His figure flashed and immediately left the range of the H-Gold slime's tribulation. He only watched from afar and wouldn't interfere. However, if the H-Gold slime really encountered any danger, he would still choose to rescue it. As soon as his voice fell, the Golden Gung Thunder above the sky bombarded down. It was a golden lightning, as if it was condensed from metal. The golden lightning impressively turned into knives, swords, halberds, bows and arrows, spears, whips, and other 18 weapons. Tens of thousands of swords and weapons bombarded down at the same time, smashing fiercely on the H-Gold Slime's body. This kind of momentum was like the attack of thousands of troops and horses. It was very terrifying. Suddenly, the H-Gold Slime turned into a golden ball, with a diameter of about 10 meters. Dense runes appeared on the surface of the ball. It was unfathomable, as if it was the origin of the earth. Bang bang bang. All the golden gung thunder bombarded down, immediately erupting a series of terrible metal colliding sounds. Sparks splattered everywhere, and clanging sounds rang out. Moreover, the golden gung thunder did not stop at all. It poured down like raindrops, like a violent storm. The surrounding tens of thousands of kilometers were filled with a violent aura. Even when these golden gung thunder landed on the ground, the earth, trees, rocks, flowers, and so on were immediately eroded by the golden gung chi, and instantly turned into metal. It could be said that the area of tens of thousands of kilometers seemed to have been permanently changed into a metal zone. However, even so, the H-Gold Slime was still unscathed. It was like a god standing above the earth, absorbing all the energy of the earth. No matter what kind of golden gung thunder bombarded it, not only did it not hurt it, but it also tempered it thousands of times, helping it to eliminate impurities. It was like a blacksmith refining a knife. It's too strong. After devouring the Mother Earth stone, the H-Gold Slime is simply blessed by Mother Earth. It has an absolute defense. A mere golden gung thunder can't hurt it at all. Chapter 2144. This time, the magic treasure tribulation lasted for a full day and a night. With the golden slime's body as the center, the area within a radius of 100,000 kilometers was affected by the golden gung lightning. Endless golden gung chi eroded every corner within 100,000 kilometers, permanently changing this place. Originally, there were towering mountains of rock and soil, but at this moment, they were also eroded by the golden gung chi and turned into metal mountains. It could be said to be a boundless metal mountain range. And the towering trees, the weeds, the flowers, and the rivers all turned into metal minerals, turning into metal trees, metal weeds, and metal flowers. The area within 100,000 kilometers was golden, containing a strong metal aura. Vaguely, there were countless swords cutting and colliding here. It was extremely magical. The golden slime, which was originally 10 meters in diameter, also underwent a huge change. It was bombarded by countless golden gung lightning, constantly expelling impurities. In the end, it was only a centimeter in size, like a glass bead. But all that was left was the essence, the crystallization, after it had been tempered by the magic treasure tribulation. Boom! When the last golden gung lightning bombarded down, a terrifying vortex immediately appeared in the sky. The golden slime seemed to have communicated with the origin of the universe and received the universe's recognition. Whoosh! In an instant, a huge amount of energy, as well as the information of the universe's laws, descended from the depths of the void, pouring into the golden slime like mercury pouring down the ground. And the golden slime did not refuse, greedily devouring the energy of the universe's origin, as well as the information of the laws from the depths of the universe, so that countless laws were recorded in the depths of its body. Vaguely, dense lines of laws appeared all over its body, impressively reaching the realm of transcendence. There was a sense of transcendence. Even its entire body was supplemented by the rich origin of the universe, immediately expanding to about the size of a soccer ball, seemingly full of elasticity. I finally succeeded. Xiaoping was very excited. He had an extremely close spiritual connection with the golden slime, so he immediately sensed that the golden slime had successfully transformed. It had truly become a magic treasure of the sage level. He saw countless golden patterns on the surface of the golden slime's body, noble and mysterious. But in the depths of its body, there seemed to be dense black lines, which seemed to be the energy from hell. It was probably the power obtained by devouring hell ores. The golden and black patterns intertwined with each other, presenting a noble unity, unfathomable. Slime! Suddenly, the The golden slime opened its eyes, a trace of intelligence emitting from the depths of its pupils. With a whoosh, it jumped into Xiaoping's arms with extreme excitement, expressing its joy. However, even though it had leveled up to become a sacred tier magic treasure, it was still incapable of saying too much. It could only communicate with Xiaoping through its mind. Xiaojin, what changes have you experienced? Xiaoping asked curiously. Slime. The golden slime tilted its head, and a tremendous amount of information was immediately transmitted into Xiaoping's mind, letting him know the changes that had happened to the golden slime's body, as well as the abilities it possessed. Golden slime, a low-grade sacred artifact. Divine ability 1, myriad transformations. It can transform into any weapon and possess the properties and abilities of any weapon. Divine ability 2, swallow everything. Swallow all the minerals in the world and take the mineral's energy as your own. Divine ability 3, earthen body. A special ability obtained by devouring the Mother Gaia stone. As long as the wielder stands on the ground, the wielder will be able to endlessly absorb the earth's essence power. The wielder's power will never weaken. As long as the wielder stands on the ground, the wielder's body will be able to withstand it and unleash 10 times, or even 100 times, the wielder's power. Divine ability 4, unstoppable. After overcoming the tribulation of magic treasures, the wielder fused with the Mother Gaia stone and obtained the laws of vibration. It can easily cut apart all matter in the world. Nothing can stop its sharpness. Divine ability 5, earthquake. One of the essence powers of the Mother Gaia stone. It can cause the earth to quake, the void to tremble, and spatial storms. The greater the pain and rage within the wielder's heart, the more terrifying the tremors will be. It can let the world know of its pain. Powerful. Simply too powerful. Sensing the information, Xiaoping became dumbfounded. Although he had long since known that the golden slime would receive an explosive increase in power after leveling up to become a low-grade sacred artifact, he did not expect it to be this terrifying. Every single one of the divine abilities was comparable to a sacred artifact. Although the golden slime was only a low-grade sacred artifact, in reality, even an ordinary high-grade sacred artifact might not be able to compare to the golden slime. It was no wonder that after a sage obtained the golden slime, he was able to dominate the universe and sweep away all other sages. This was not without reason. Of course, now that Xiaojin had devoured the Mother Gaia stone, its potential had surpassed all the previous environmental slime. If it continued to be nurtured, it was not impossible for the golden slime to become the strongest sacred artifact. After all, it could continue to evolve. This was probably one of its most terrifying abilities. Xiaojin. Xiaoping moved his mind, and with a whoosh, the golden slime instantly transformed into a huge golden sword. There were dense dark golden patterns engraved on it, and it contained an extremely strong power of the laws of the universe. The huge golden sword in his hand was like the sword of a king. In an instant, both his feet stood on the ground. It was as if his body, his soul, and his powers had completely fused with the earth. There was no distinction between them. Even the terrifying source of energy from the depths of the earth was like a tidal wave. It passed through his feet to his limbs, and even to the depths of the 9 great purple mansions. An invincible, endless power was brewing in his body. Dong. Thinking of this, Xiaoping held the huge golden sword and gently swung it. Instantly, the space in the distance was torn apart. A terrifying crack of space that was thousands of kilometers long appeared. This space could not withstand the sharpness of the golden slime at all, and was easily torn apart. Master, don't test the sword here. The pearl of mountain and river is about to collapse. Instantly, the green bull was scared half to death, and immediately stopped Xiaoping's next move. Because after being swung by the huge golden sword, the entire space seemed to be on the verge of collapsing. If this continued, the entire space would probably be destroyed, and the stability of the pearl of mountain and river's laws of space would be affected. It completely did not expect the power of the golden slime to reach this level. Even the space of the pearl of mountain and river could not stop it. Okay, I understand. Chapter 2145. Far away. Chong Xiaoqian and Tan Menglu also saw this scene. They were originally playing games at home, but they were attracted by the treasure calamity and came over to see what was going on out of curiosity. However, they just happened to see Xia Ping using the golden greatsword. So powerful. This is the legendary sword of the king. Could it be that this bad guy Prince Regent has not only taken my throne, but also my sword of the king? How despicable. Chong Xiaoqian was drooling. She felt that such a majestic, golden greatsword was very suitable for her status as a king. If she took out this treasured sword, she would immediately be able to command the world and intimidate countless people. However, she felt that it was a waste for such a powerful sword of the king to fall into the hands of that detestable Prince Regent. Chong Xiaoqian's eyes darted around. She felt that she had to think of a way to steal this sword of the king. No, not steal. As a king, how could it be considered stealing when she asked a commoner for something? Moreover, no matter how she looked at it, this sword belonged to a king. To put it simply, it belonged to Chong Xiaoqian. If she took it back, it should be called returning it to its rightful owner. It looks delicious. Unlike Chong Xiaoqian, Tan Menglu was drooling. She felt that if she ate that treasured sword, her strength would definitely increase greatly, and she would be able to satisfy her appetite. More importantly, that treasured sword gave off an alluring fragrance that made one drool. It was a pity that this was bad guy Xia Ping's treasured sword. It looked like a treasure, so there was probably no way she would eat it. If he got angry, she might not be able to eat for a few days. She felt that it was better for her not to act rashly. Chong Xiaoqian and Tan Menglu were not the only ones who noticed this. Because the treasure calamity covered such a large area, many of the primordial species saw this scene as well. Oh my god, what a powerful treasure! It has just passed the treasure calamity, but it already possesses such power. I didn't expect the treasures of humans to be so powerful. This is really scary. Humans have weak bodies and poor talents, but they are good at all kinds of strange techniques. They can refine all kinds of magical treasures to greatly increase their combat power, which is why they are one of the top races in the universe. Now, it seems that it is indeed so. No, you are all mistaken. That is no ordinary magic treasure. That is the legendary slime race. Rather, it is the supreme king of the slime race, the golden slime. What? It's actually a golden slime. Damn it. What kind of dog's hit luck does this human have to be able to find a golden slime? Isn't this like adding wings to a tiger? That human is becoming more and more monstrous. It seems like we have no chance of leaving at all. Many of the primordial descendants were in incomparable despair. Previously, they still had the thought of escaping. They felt that if they found the right opportunity, they might be able to escape from this cage. However, as this damned human's strength continued to improve, they felt that their chances were getting slimmer and slimmer. They had almost given up on the idea of running away. Hee, a group of idiots. With just your strength, it is naturally impossible to leave this damned place. Because your brains are all muscles, without the slightest bit of intelligence. At this time, the Fei and Crow Demon Bird also took the opportunity to run out of the valley. With an arrogant expression, they directly arrived in front of the mini primordial descendants. Huh? Isn't this the Fei and Crow Demon Bird? Weren't you captured to breed? How come you have the time to run out now? And primordial descendant curiously asked. Shut up. Who was captured to breed? Who was the one who spread the rumor? Hearing this, the Crow Demon Bird and Fei were so angry that their faces turned green. They were fuming with anger and wished that they could capture the primordial descendant who spread the rumor and give him a beating. It wasn't someone who spread the rumor, but something that everyone saw with their own eyes. And primordial descendant disdainfully said, Moreover, I also heard that the two of you were captured by the Tautai to be shit-shoveling officers. Every day, you were nannies, living a life worse than death. You don't even dare to speak loudly. You don't even have the slightest bit of dignity, as in primordial descendant. Although everyone was a prisoner, their statuses were also divided into different ranks. Without a doubt, the Fei and Crow Demon Bird were the lowest among them. Bullshit, that is the Tautai of the primordial vicious 10. It will eat people's entire families at the slightest provocation. You fucking dare to speak loudly in front of it. Are you tired of living? The Fae was extremely angry. It felt that this group of primordial descendants were easy to talk to. That was the infamous Tao Tai. Its entire body emitted a fiendish aura, and even primordial descendants were scared out of their wits. It had seen with its own eyes how terrifying that Tao Tai was. In one gulp, it swallowed a small mountain of food that weighed dozens of tons. However, this was merely food. It wasn't enough for it to have a sumptuous meal. One could imagine how terrifying that Tao Tai was. When it went crazy, it would eat everything. It was simply unstoppable. Don't talk to this group of people with shallow knowledge. How can a sparrow know the ambitions of a swan? The crow demon bird said arrogantly. Keep bragging. You are just a shit-shoveling officer. What great ambitions do you have? The group of primordial descendants mocked. The crow demon bird and the Fae clenched their teeth and swore inwardly. Bastard, just you wait. I will flatter that Tao Tai and that hateful lowly until they are satisfied and gain their trust. At that time, they will escape from this demon's den. Let's see if these bastards still dare to speak loudly to them. They decided to endure hardships and gain courage. Swoosh. At this time, Xia Ping recalled the golden slime. It turned into a bracelet and wrapped around his wrist. Although it was just a small test just now, he had a rough idea of the golden slime's current strength. Relying on its various divine abilities, the current golden slime was most likely extraordinary. With this golden sword in hand, he could contend against an immortal saint. His strength had increased by more than 10 times. Oh right, Ricky still hasn't found where the tree world is? Xia Ping suddenly thought of this matter. He asked the Treant Race's Ruth through his divine sense. I'm sorry, Lord Xia. Grandpa Ricky is still trying to sense it, but he still hasn't received a response from the holy tree. I'm afraid it will take some time. The Treant Race's Ruth expressed that such things were very normal. Sometimes the tree world was too far away. There were many things and factors that interfered with it. It was normal to need a month to determine the tree world's location. I see. In that case, I will delay the plan to go to the tree world a little. I will go to the illusion race's lair first. Xia Ping decided to go to the illusion race's lair first. After all, according to the illusion race's warrior Barty, there was a large number of sound rune stones in the illusion race's treasury. These sound rune stones were very important to him. If he could obtain a large number of sound rune stones, then his life treasure, the Chaos Bell, would undergo a huge evolution. Chapter 2146. After Xia Ping entered the white space node, he found himself in a vast dimensional space. A majestic world appeared in front of him. It was boundless, and it looked like an eggshell. This world was, without a doubt, the illusory race's lair, the illusory realm. This world seemed to be surrounded by clouds and mist, and there were many restrictive formations set up. Thousands of rule chains were faintly discernible, containing earth-shattering power. It was like a terrifying beast lying dormant. There were thousands of small planets around this world. According to Barty, these small planets were the bases for entering the illusory realm. All illusory race warriors who returned to the illusory realm needed to report to this base. They could only return to the illusory realm after their identities were checked. This was for the sake of the illusory realm's safety. After all, if enemies of other races invaded the illusory realm, it would bring unimaginable disaster to the illusory race. Whoosh! Not long after, Xiaoping's body flashed, and he landed on one of the planets. He wasn't the only one. Countless illusory race warriors landed on this planet from all directions, waiting to be checked. There were so many of them. There were more than 10 million of them. Dong! Soon, everyone landed on a plaza on this planet. The entire plaza seemed to be made of white jade, and it was grand. A palace appeared in front of them, with the words Clearance Hall written on it. Clearly, this place was similar to a customs office. Countless illusory people had to pass through this place to be checked. So many experts. Xiaoping's divine sense swept out, silently penetrating the entire planet. He could immediately sense that there were countless experts on this planet. A mechanical voice rang out in the square. There were tens of thousands of Wonder Retribution realm experts lying in ambush here. An official from the illusory race had a powerful aura. To them, and they all this was just a formality. Energy. It was fine as long as there were no spies from other races. Array of restrictive formations. As soon as he finished speaking, if an enemy invaded, they could immediately activate the teleportation array appeared, creating a strong spatial fluctuation. And kill all the enemies countless people from the illusion tribe. One could imagine how powerful the illusory illusion dimension. Beat the next batch of people from the illusion plaza shook. A white light swept out in all directions, waiting for the next inspection. Every corner of the plaza. This is the illusion world. Every figure and every spatial treasure. There was a change in space. There was nowhere to hide, and Xiaoping also felt like he was being to another place. It was as if a great being was examining the world completely, and he could not keep in front of him was a huge palace. This was probably a special inspection method of the magic tribe were entering and however, this was completely useless. In front of the palace, faceless mask, there was a black signboard. He had transformed into Barty without any flaws. What is this place? And he had also concealed the aura divine orb of mountains and rivers. This is the mission hall of the illusion tribe. Had no effect on him. Barty immediately replied. When all people from the illusion tribe return to the illusion world, there are no enemies. They usually complete the tasks assigned by the illusion tribe. Otherwise, they would not return under normal circumstances. So, basically, when we return to the illusion world, we are teleported to the mission hall to accept tasks and receive rewards from the race. He said that he had left the illusion world because he had accepted a year-end task from the illusion tribe, which required him to swindle 100 million universe dollars. The reason why Barty had taken the risk to impersonate Wu Wuti was to complete the task assigned by the illusion tribe. After all, if he could not complete the task, then his status in the illusion tribe would be lowered. For example, a noble like him would be demoted to a commoner, unable to enjoy the various privileges of a noble. So the hierarchy of the illusion tribe was extremely strict, almost insurmountable. I see. Xiaoping did not expect the rules of the illusion tribe to be so strict. They completely treated everyone as a company employee. Every year there was a quota to complete the task. If they did not complete it, they would be demoted, their treatment would be reduced, and they would be treated as trash. If they wanted to be a traitor, they would be immediately hunted down and executed. Must I cheat? Can't I rob or something? Xiaoping asked. No, it must be a scam. Also, I have to report all the details of my actions to the elders. They will check carefully, and no cheating is allowed, Barty said in a low voice. This is a way for the elders to select talents. Only those who are smart and cautious enough can become the upper echelons of the illusion tribe. The elders don't like idiots with brains full of brains. Smart, cautious, and careful. These were the life-saving skills of the illusion tribe, and also the way they selected the upper echelons. Hey, isn't this idiot Barty? Why are you back in the illusion world? Did you complete your task? Just then, a group of people walked over from the distance. There were about 6 of them, and one of them was a blond young man in a white shirt. He walked over with a frivolous expression, looking at Xiaoping with contempt. Damn it, this is Chris, the son of a big noble. He's been my nemesis since I was young, and he likes to cause me trouble. Seeing this person appear, Barty's expression was very ugly. It seemed that he had suffered a lot in front of this Chris, and was the kind of person who was bullied countless times. Thinking of this, he had a lot of mental shadows. What's wrong? Seeing that I'm so scared I can't speak. Where are your minions and lackeys? Don't tell me they're all dead? The blonde man Chris said. Do you even need to ask? They must all be dead. That's why they ran back to the illusion world with their tails between their legs. It's not like we don't know what idiot Barty is capable of. After the new year, if he can't complete his task, Barty will probably be demoted to a commoner. The lackeys beside him laughed and mocked him. It seemed that Barty was the object of their amusement. Chapter 2147. Stop right there, Barty. What kind of attitude is that? How dare you ignore me? Chris was infuriated when he saw Xiaoping turning a blind eye to him and treating him like air. He shouted loudly and stood in front of Xiaoping, reading dereliction of duty. Leahy liked to mock and toy with Barty. He liked to see Barty's aggrieved, indignant, and helpless expression. He wanted to see this trash struggling and wailing in his hands. However, this Barty in front of him was unmoved by his mockery. His expression was even looking down on him, as if he was looking at a clown. How could the proud and arrogant Chris endure such disregard? A good-for-nothing actually dared to look at him with such a gaze. It was truly intolerable. Carry, a good dog doesn't block the way. Xiaoping said calmly. Big brother, this bastard called you a dog. A lackey jumped out, full of righteous indignation. Shut up. With a slap, Carrie sent the lackey flying. He was furious. Do I have no fucking intelligence? Don't I have ears? Do I need you to remind me? Sorry, big brother. The lackey covered his red and swollen face. He knew that his flattery had hit the nail on the head. Barty. Carrie turned his head and looked at Xiaoping. His face was dark. I haven't seen you for a while. You've gotten a lot more guts. You even dare to speak to me like that. Did you curry favor with some backer that gave you the confidence? He felt that this cowardly and stupid tyrant actually had the courage to stand up to him. It was really unbelievable. It was like Esau had been enlightened and knew how to climb trees. What backer can I get? I'm not like you. I don't have a good father to take care of me. You don't have to fight to the death. You can just lie down and complete the mission. People and lives are really different. Xiaoping spread his hands, indicating that he had no backer. But don't provoke me. Otherwise, I'll make you cry so rhythmically that it'll be useless even if you call your father over. Do you understand? He warned this Carrie in front of him. Don't be so shameless. Pfft. Hearing this, the surrounding illusion people couldn't help but laugh. They could all hear the sarcasm in Xiaoping's words. He was clearly mocking Chris for only relying on his father to complete the mission. Without a background, he was nothing. Chris was enraged. Instantly, Chris flew into a rage. He was a person with a strong sense of pride. And what he hated the most was people saying that he was purely relying on his family, and that he had no ability at all. However, this guy in front of him actually dared to mock him in front of so many people. This was simply touching his reverse scale. Barty, you're courting death. Chris shouted angrily. He could no longer control his anger. His figure flashed and he threw out a punch. It whistled like the wind and thunder, and the power of the peak of the gold core realm exploded out. Based on this divine power alone, he was at least twice as powerful as Barty. It was not without reason that he could bully Barty as he pleased. But to Xiaoping he was like a baby. He flipped his hand and sent out a palm. Dong! Chris's whole body was slammed onto the ground like a ball. In an instant a human-shaped hole was formed. The surrounding cement floor was shattered, and an earthquake with a magnitude of 7 or 8 was produced. With a pft, he couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood. 10 bones in his body were broken, and even the internal organs in his body were severely injured. Brother Chris. Seeing this, the other lackeys were enraged. They wanted to rush up, but Xiaoping waved his hand, and with a boom, they were all sent flying hundreds of meters away. All of them were severely injured, and they fell to the ground, coughing up blood. Instantly, their faces were filled with shock. They didn't expect this cowardly Barty to be this strong. He defeated them with just one move. Many of the surrounding illusion people knew Chris and Barty. They were also shocked. Originally, They thought that Barty would also be bullied badly this time. They didn't expect the result to be the opposite. Barty, you broke through the gold core realm and advanced to the returning nature realm? Chris raised his head and looked at Xiaoping in shock. He felt that the gap between the two of them couldn't be this big, unless Xiaoping's cultivation had broken through and crossed a whole realm. That's right. This time, I had a fortuitous encounter and luckily broke through to the returning nature realm. From now on, you and I are not on the same level. You'd better be respectful to me and humble yourself. Otherwise, I'll beat you up every time I see you. Xiaoping's body emitted the aura of someone in the returning nature realm. Damn, what a lucky bastard. Chris was so jealous that his intestines turned green. This bastard, who was originally so far away from him, had a fortuitous encounter and suddenly advanced to the returning nature realm. His strength was more than 10 times stronger than before. He had been stuck in the gold core realm for hundreds of years, but he couldn't break through. But this Barty's luck was good to this extent. How could he be satisfied? No wonder this bastard's attitude was completely different after he came back. Did he think that just because he had the cultivation of the returning nature realm, he could completely disregard him? The surrounding illusion people were all envious. Every time one advanced to the next realm, their status in the illusion race would be greatly improved. This was a real benefit. Without a doubt, the current Barty, be it in terms of strength or status, was completely different from before. Barty, just you wait. This is definitely not over. Chris fiercely spat out a sentence, then left with his tail between his legs in a sorry state. After all, with their current strength, even if they wanted to fight Xiaoping, it was not realistic. Staying here was just asking to be humiliated. Xiaoping didn't care about the expressions of these stray dogs. After all, he was an existence that could even kill an immortal saint. A mere Gold Core Realm Junior was nothing to him. He didn't kill this group of people, because this was the illusion race's territory. He couldn't act rashly. Otherwise, with this group of people's attitude, if they were in the outside world, they would die 10 times over. He was very calm. He ignored the gazes of the surrounding people and directly entered the mission hall. There are a lot of missions. Xiaoping raised his eyebrows. He saw that on the empty space in the mission hall, there were many virtual projections. On top of them, there were many missions. He took a closer look, and his face suddenly became very strange. These missions were all criminal missions. Reward of 10 million universe dollars. Universe Tycoon Reigns has an affair. He wants to divorce his wife. In order to prevent his wife from splitting a large amount of his assets, we need a Playboy G to seduce his wife. Take a photo and get evidence. Anyone with a unique way to pick up girls. Y6 Star Sector X166 Planet Z City Rosebank. The day after tomorrow at 5 p.m. Those who want to rob can come together. The money obtained can be divided equally. Note: we urgently need an explosives expert. Those who know how to assemble bombs are preferred. Is there anyone who wants to be a pirate? We can drink big, eat big, and have pretty girls to enjoy. When it comes to robbing, we the Watermelon Pirates are the most professional. We haven't been caught for 300 years. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support. And don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.